Okay, we have about 30 seconds.
Right, I'm gonna unmute us.
And when you hear the recording announcement, it's your cue to begin.
Back so the interviewees can see it at the other end when they get here.
So we wanted the camera to see it first and then we flip it.
Camera, no, just face that, the camera will pick it up.
We should have had them on both sides then.
Okay, well, it is Thursday, September 19th, 3 p.m. and I will call this City of Lacey Lodging Tax Advisory Committee meeting to order. And our first order of business is going to be our roll call, just kind of introducing who's here in the room, and we will start over here.
Hi, it's Sadie Sidlin, Management Analyst and Lodging Tax Advisory Committee Staff Liaison.
Ruth Weigelt, Lacey Spring Fun Fair Representative.
Chad Carpenter, Ole Soccer Representative. Andrew Shin, La Quinta.
Malcolm Miller, City of Lacey.
Shannon Kelly Fong, Assistant City Manager for the City of Lacey.
Okay, and let's continue with our land acknowledgement. We, the City of Lacey, are on the ancestral land of the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek, including the Nisqually Indian Tribe and the Squaxin Island Tribe. We acknowledge and remember those tribal people not recognized today who were absorbed or relocated into other tribes for survival. Also, we want to move on to approval of our agenda, our previous meeting minutes and consent items. Anybody care to put forth a motion?
So moved.
It has been moved and seconded to approve today's agenda and our consent items and our previous meeting minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Seeing none, that motion passes unanimously. It looks like we have one written public comment was received,
Correct.
and that will be added to the record. Next item on our agenda is our 2025 lodging tax funding interviews.
Yes, well, welcome back 1 week later, Lodging Tax. We are here today to conduct interviews based off this committee's recommendations to bring interviewees in for the 2025 lodging tax funding cycle. This year, we had 30 applications, and of that 30, you had selected to bring in 15 applicants for interviews, including 11 new first-time applicants and 4 returning applicants to ask some further questions. Each applicant was sent information ahead of time for the interview process, asked to prepare a brief presentation up to 5 slides for their application. This committee requested updates from first-time applicants on an overview of their activities, the goals of their activities, and how they would market Lacey for their activities. And returning applicants were asked to provide an update and outcome on their activities from previous funding and more information about how they marketed their activities to highlight Lacey. So we will see all 15 applicants today and review that information in hopes to aid you in deciding how to delegate the lodging tax funding for the 2025 cycle. Again, electing to use that to bring in tourism promoting activities, marketing, and venues to increase overnight stays in Lacey to drive that heads to beds, as we're also familiar with, to increase the cycle of tourism. So you do have a schedule in front of you today of all 15 interviewees. Please note we do have 3 who will be joining remotely. Interviewees will be able to come in, sit in chambers. We have their presentation materials available and they will be able to navigate through the slides. We do have the opportunity to recess if a natural break occurs in between interviews and can set that up. So at this committee's discretion, if we have our first interviewees, we could begin.
Before we do, are the remote presenters listed on here as remote, or how do we know?
Yes, they are highlighted and bolded in black and they have vertical
Okay.
listed next to them. So at 4:05, 4:45, and 5:35, we have 3 remote presenters joining us.
Gotcha.
They will be admitted in Zoom on the back end and able to share their screen and present virtually.
Okay. And so before we get started, does anybody else on the committee have anything to add? No?
The people, applicants that are joining us remotely,
Yeah.
are they listening in right now too? Or are they gonna?
They will be able to join, they can listen just as anyone can for all public meetings, and they will be admitted and kind of changed to that speaker status at the time of their interview. So they will not be able to join, comment, or anything before their predetermined interview time.
Okay. Well, it looks like we have our first applicant for SWAE Night Market at the Depot, Night Market at Ricardo's, and Holiday Market. Is Jason Huang here?
That's me.
Please come over, Jason.
What's up?
You're right there. And if you have a presentation, that remote should work for your presentation.
Yes, let me get. Excellent, and Jason, you will be able to use that forward button to navigate through your slides. If you could just give the committee your name and then feel free to begin.
Sure, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the opportunity to allow me to come in and talk a little bit about our events. And Sadie, thank you so much for, as a first time applicant, you made it really easy, and you were super helpful too, so I really appreciate that. My name is Jason. I'm a veteran that migrated to the Northwest in the recent years, and my last assignment was on JPLM. And for me, I just realized that this is the place that I see a lot of potential in the city, where you have a mixture of a lot of diversity, variety of lifestyle, and it's been really awesome to be a part of the community. So marketing is my background, along with logistics in Marine Corps, and I decided opportunity presents itself, and I decided to put that into event planning, and so far it's been going pretty good. Yeah, we can definitely talk more about it. So, like I said, we focus on a lot of our events here in the city of Lacey. We're going on the third year of our events so far, and this year is when we really started focusing on establishing ourselves here in the city of Lacey. We've had an opportunity to work with the city of Tumwater, Olympia, all three cities within the county. And the city of Lacey has been presenting us with the most, by far the most effort in really establishing something here and creating something new to bring attraction to the city. So it's been an honor to work with the city of Lacey, and we definitely have some ideas and goals and plans to expand that. And before I kick it off, so SWAE just means it means to be spontaneous. It means to have fun, be adventurous. It's not an acronym. It's a little mystery that kind of goes on Facebook right now. People try to solve. So no acronyms. It just means to have fun. So quick overview about us. Like I said, we're a veteran-owned small business. Our goal is just to create a fun, vibrant, family-friendly events that highlights the city and bring the community together, and also showcasing the culture, the businesses, and ultimately bringing in that tourism that comes to the city. As I mentioned, our mission is to highlight the city in every way possible, whether that's businesses, cultures, food, the art, and generating opportunities here within the city of Lacey and bring people here. Our target audience has been really wide. So for us, our events are for everybody. Anybody can attend. All three events that I know we're consolidating all three different locations here, but all three events all have some things in common. All ages. Some has its own ambiance and vibe, but all three are family friendly. It's for everybody. It doesn't matter, whichever case may be. Anybody's welcome. we do see a lot of local families that comes for gathering, date nights, family night outs. And also we're seeing a lot of tourism that comes in ranging from Everett all the way down to Portland and Salem, Oregon. And a good chunk of that audience is also the military side too, where we see a lot of service members that comes out to the events. We believe that our events has been proven to be extremely beneficial for the city and for the community here. We've seen an increased foot traffic to local businesses that whether they're with us or not partnering with us, we're noticing it's definitely generating higher hotel bookings, restaurants visits, retail sales, and we're seeing a lot of proven opportunities in collaborations and partnerships within the businesses and organizations that we've worked with. Some, for example, the nonprofits, adopt the Camp Kitties, whether that's cat adoptions. We've worked with the Girl Scouts of Western Olympia to offer an opportunity for the Girl Scouts to learn that entrepreneurial spirit, entrepreneurial skills. So one thing that our team we like to say, our motto is we're never too extra. We can never be too extra. We'd like to be extra, and we're not afraid to try anything. And I think that's been our recipe for the success we've had so far. I'd rather try anything than just stay stagnant and not try anything at all. And I think that's how you grow and establish a long-term event within the city and within the community. So our events, it's about creating a fun energy for the community, and it's about having it being beneficial for the participating organizations, businesses, and ultimately driving that tourism to the city of Lacey, and essentially putting Lacey on the map and not have people just call it Olympia. Like, no, this is Lacey, and we're here to highlight that, and it has its own. Sorry.
So what is, like, if I show up at your event, what am I gonna see?
So as I mentioned, all three events are family friendly. One of the main highlights of the events is all three includes local businesses and organizations as vendors to promote their brand and gain exposure. So, for example, when we had animal shelters come in, they get a significant amount of exposure to pet adoptions or donations to their organizations. It's the same thing for Girl Scouts of Western Olympia. They go through pallets of Girl Scout cookies when they bring it to the event, and they get to share some of their crafts within the organization, and all the proceeds they keep. We just make sure we just highlight them and partnership with them. As far as the event itself, having vendors is a huge portion of it, and we curate our events based off of the location and the venue. So, for example, the Lacey Depot is a much more casual, laid-back setting where it has a playground. Has more activity for children and kids. And then when you have the holiday markets and also Ricardo's, all has its own ambiance and a vibe to it. Holidays being, it's exactly what you think it is. A lot of holiday activities, holiday events. Occasionally we'll bring in petting zoos where you can pet the reindeers, and we try to be different and just offer something that you go, wow, what is that? So those are kind of the things that you can expect. Live music and a DJ is at every event. We also do go through seasonal events. Some locations are year round, and I can definitely touch up on that in the next couple slides. So, but we'll have seasonal events, Halloween, for example, right now we're getting ready to have the haunted night market at the Lacey Depot in October. So that's just some of the examples of what we might have, and we'll feature food trucks, beer gardens and eggnog gardens and those type of things where it's fun for the entire family.
Community.
Absolutely.
I think I went to night market at the Ricardo's once. Is this the first time? Did you have a night market at
We
Ricardo's
did.
before?
We did.
Okay, okay, I was there one time.
Yes, sir.
Oh, where are you based? Is your offices here in Lake?
Here in Lacy, correct.
Gotcha. And are you in partnership with the depot mainly, or are you guys part owners, or what's going on with the relationship?
So the depot is a partnership with the city of Lacy. And Ricardo's is a separate collaboration directly with the restaurant.
So you're basically collaborating with.
Correct.
Marketing.
Correct.
You have a contract though with the city for
Correct.
the depot, right?
Correct. So with the night markets at the depot and the Lacy Holiday Market is a contract with.
Oh, both of them?
Correct.
Okay.
Those are all contracted with the city of Lacy. And this is the first year we're awarded with that contract.
Nice, congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you say that second part again? It was both the depot and which ones were?
It was the depot and the Lacy Holiday Market.
Holiday market.
Correct.
Okay, cool, thank you.
And within that contract, we get to have a lot of internal collaborations with the Parks and Recs, community centers and economic development and.
So is the night market is it like a one-time thing, like, or, cause I see things happening over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to touch up on that. So I'll start with the depot. So depot is scheduled to run, since it's an outdoor setting, we schedule it to run from April to October, every other Friday. That number could change depending on weather, depending on if the city have any other such recommendations. But for us, it was important to establish the event. We were adamant about establishing something on Fridays because Saturday is now you're getting into a huge competition with a lot of surrounding events where Fridays, this is kind of like your stop to kick off your weekend. And this is your opportunity to in a relaxed setting, enjoy some foods, maybe hit up the beer gardens. And you have, last Friday we brought in Dick's Drive-Ins from.
Yeah, you had quite a crowd.
Yeah, you had a great crowd last Friday. I couldn't even get a burger. The line was too long. And I was like, man, this is awesome. So I was happy about it because I was like,
Let
whoever
me
did
know
this.
let me know beforehand.
Okay.
I'll be back on the 11th.
You may be able to cut.
I don't want to do that, but
We'll talk offline.
I went to your business, and then is this the one where you guys are also partnered up with the Lacey Veteran Hub?
No, this is not.
Okay,
Although that is on our agenda to.
you know about that.
Correct.
Okay.
So,
A really good day. How many attendees are we talking about?
so last Friday was the best day at the depot. That one we hit just under 4,800.
4,800. Mostly locals, I'm assuming.
It's a mix of, I would say it's about 60-40 mix. We do get a lot of surrounding cities that comes in and
How do you
visit.
measure that? Do you ask them, hey, where are you from? Do you have a lot of-
We'll do occasional dot surveys
That's your.
where you just grab a sticker and you put on dot, where are you from? We'll do counts, and also we occasionally work with Esri out of Olympia for their demographic tapestry service. If you have a cell phone, we're tracking, not in a threatening way.
Right, just location.
Correct. It's just marketing strategies allow us to know what the patterns of the community is doing. And it's one way for us to get into marketing where we understand which part of the community are we not reaching out to, or it's not seeing our marketing efforts. And like I said, we just passed 2-year mark in our event organization, and there's still a lot of communities within the county that have never heard of this.
Yeah.
So our goal is to, not only within the county, but we want to expand that to the surrounding counties and
Yeah, the parking lot was packed. I had to park across the street.
I believe it.
Good job.
Thank you, sir. So this is the depot. And the next one is the Lacy Holiday Market. So this one happens once a month at the Lacy Community Center. As mentioned, there's indoors, outdoor activities. We'll always have live music featuring local artists, local bands, DJs, and create create a fun and a vibrant and energized setting for people to enjoy some holiday shopping, and not have to feel like you need to travel to Portland or Seattle for those type of activities.
You said this one's at the community center?
Yes, sir.
Do you charge like an admission or something to go into this?
No, so all of our events are free for the community. Correct. And the third one is it's the one we've had the longest, so our collaboration with Ricardo's Kitchens, we're going on 2 years with the partnership, and this event happens once a month on a Saturday. So this is where you can see the ambiance is a little bit different from at a park. It offers a more intimate shopping experience, and we include activities like happy hours with Ricardo's. They might do cooking demonstrations, a lot closer types of more personal experiences when it comes to these events. Also, it's more the ambiance tends to be more high end. So as mentioned, we curate our vendor list off of the venue and the location.
So just curious, so your vendors, I notice a lot of them are like maybe they don't have brick and mortar yet,
Correct.
right? But they seem to be trying to get their product in
Yeah,
stores
absolutely.
and stuff like
We
that.
do see a lot of we just surpassed 500 businesses and organizations that we've worked with in the past 2 years. And we do see a lot of micro businesses that utilize our platform. And essentially, that is part of our objective as well, is being a platform for people to have a chance. And we do see quite a bit of success stories. A lot of single parents, somebody just want to have a side hustle, and that turns into now they're signing leases to brick and mortars. And so it's a part of that journey for folks that might not have that opportunity otherwise.
All right.
And real quick on all of our goals, I like to say our goal is pretty simple. We want to bring exposure to the city, create a community gathering place. It's a place for people to hang out, to have a good time. Some of our events tends to run later in a day, and I do think that's something that overall the surrounding areas lacks a little bit. Things tends to close around 7, 8 o'clock, but we'll run our events to 9, 10 o'clock. If you come to the depot, you'll see lights. There's lights everywhere.
Yeah.
October, we'll have Halloween lights and all that. So it's something that offers a more unique experience.
I remember when I first moved to Lacey, and it was 2001, and I was like, why is everything close so early? Right? 7 o'clock, I can't get a burger. Yeah, very interesting. That's why I was laughing, because like, you're right, Lacey does close a little bit early. Young city, small city.
I think we're noticing a lot more. We're noticing more the younger demographics to stay within the city of Lacey versus moving out. And for us, this is a great way for, in our opinions, to create that gathering space. And like I said, with the audience, it's all ages. We see all different types of demographics that comes out, have a good time. And we try to include as many foods, services, activities for everyone to participate.
Yeah, the DJ was playing some pretty good stuff at the last one.
We
This past, when Dix was there.
Yeah,
so yeah,
You live by there.
yeah,
Yeah. You live by there, right?
No,
No.
I don't live by there, but I just say it's loud because I've been several times, so. Yeah.
we for the DJs, musicians, I never like to put limits. I just like, they're the professionals. You work your magic, and I'll let you know if it's good.
So you brought Dix.
I'm sorry.
You brought Dix, yeah, because I saw the truck and it said Dix, and I was like, I didn't know, first of all, I didn't know they had a mobile
Oh,
situation going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you tapped into that, found them and got them down here.
Yes, sir. They're extremely hard to get. Yeah, they're extremely hard to get, and we had help with the economic development department. So we were able to work something out, and I'm really glad we got them twice. We have them again on the 11th instead of just one-time deal. So
You
that's
go early then,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, so the line was all the way from
Oh, I saw the line,
back to
yeah.
Yeah,
the playground.
it was a great event. They sold 1,500 burgers that day.
Oh,
And I think that's just kind of gives you a scope of
Hmm.
activities and events like this. We can generate that within the city of Lacey. And it's an opportunity for exposure for everyone participating to gain something. And then the numbers for all the food trucks that are permanently at the Lacey Depot they all saw record sale days of the year too.
Great. Super.
Yes, sir. So a little bit about our marketing. We're very proactive on social media. You've probably seen our ads already. And if you haven't, then I need to adjust the analytics a little bit, but we track everything. We look at where our ads are reaching. And not just ads, also we have a team that are very proactive in creating engaging content. We make sure that it's effective content and we're not just posting things on social media just because. Everything is very analytical, and we have a team. Our team has a videographer and photographer that captures moments and photos, and we provide those to the city free of charge to use as well. So that's one way that we get to share those valuable moments with the community.
so you have a Facebook page?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I see, because usually the city shares, anyway, so.
So
I'll have to
we
look.
have Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all the above.
You sure they're hooked up? I think I probably shared your posts
Yeah,
because they come out through our city page and then I just,
right,
yeah.
yeah. But I
Thank
haven't
you.
gone to his page,
So we have designers on the team as well that we create engaging contents that are family friendly for everyone to see, and we also incorporate collaborations within influencers within the community. So that helps to get the word out, and we also have resources with the traditional marketings like the radios and magazines. So we make sure that we hit all demographics and not just a certain group.
Are there any multi-day events in your future?
We have discussions about it. I think that's something that we are aiming to have in 2026. 25 is where this year for us was a lot of learning lessons, learning a lot of things the hard way. But that's part of the process, and I think having the opportunity to present for the funding is also part of that process to allow us to grow. And ultimately, our vision is a long-term vision. We want to establish. We've seen events come and go. We've seen markets come and go. COVID took out a lot of those types of events within the community, but I believe that we operate from a very different perspective, and not being afraid to try anything at least one time to see whether it works or not has been a foundational key for us. And I believe that having these types of events within the city where now folks don't need to travel to Tacoma, Seattle, which is something that I was doing myself.
Right.
Where it's like, I can do that here because I live here, my office is here, our home is here, and essentially I want to bring that to the city of Lacey, and also capturing all surrounding counties that are south of Thurston County as well.
Right.
So we do see a lot of audience that come from.
Yeah, it's a little different trying to get to the Bite of Seattle from Tenino, isn't it?
Or even Chehalis, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some people do it, but it's I can't do it that often. So for us, our vision is definitely long-term, and we believe there's opportunity to establish ourselves and have that growth and visibility for the city. So once again, I really appreciate everyone's time and Sadie for your help and getting me to have the presentations and applications done. I'd love to answer any other questions that you might have.
Can you share some ideas with us, what your plans for 2026 is? And then a 2-day event is where the bread and butter is, honestly.
For sure.
As a hotelier, that's
For
what
sure.
brings in the heads and the beds here. So I could see how you're trying to lay a foundation for that, but can you share maybe a couple ideas
sure.
you guys have
So-
going around?
So some of the things that we have in discussions are multiple 2-day music festivals. It's something that we've had the opportunity to work with DJs and musicians that have the connections for us to reach bigger name artists and DJs. So a music festival is definitely on our radar. We're looking to establish something like the beer, brats, and
Bands.
bands. I knew there was another B in there. That's also on our radar to establish that here. A lot of the things that we saw that had a huge success prior to COVID, or that were wiped out by COVID, we believe that there's opportunity to bring that back and do it even better. So music festivals, small, I wouldn't say smaller, but more family-friendly festivals like the beer, brats, and bands are within our radar to increase the hotel stays.
Gotcha.
Anybody else have any more questions for Sway? Okay, well,
Thank you guys so much. So October 11th, Nick's will be there 5 to 7. If you get there at 4:45, you are good to go.
Okay.
People know.
Earlier. Thank you for
Or just find me and I will make sure you get pre-order.
He will go to the back door.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you for bringing this, number one. And congratulations on your, having those contractual agreements with the city.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sure that's a huge benefit. And we've been wanting that depot space to really fill up and, with the food truck court and all the things that we did there.
There's so much potential and I see that vision and I give a lot of credit to the economic development departments, Wesley specifically. I
Yeah.
know he's told me a lot of his dreams about the depot and I said, okay, we can make it happen. And I believe this year, it took us a couple months to get established ourselves, but I believe we're on the right track to do something much bigger and for sure.
Well, thank you so much for.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason.
Well, we are ahead of schedule. This committee does have the option to take a recess before our next scheduled interview at 3:45, excuse me, if you would like.
It's like, wait a second, an hour?
Not
Wow.
45, no.
So
but-
4,800 people
For what?
for the night market.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't realize it was
800 people?
4,500.
Oh, 40.
4,500.
Oh, yeah.
4,800 the
48.
night that they had Dick's
Dick's.
specifically. So they've got obviously
What is
these
their
other
asking?
Friday nights as well.
Right.
So they asked for the night market at the depot, the ask was 40,000. For night market at Ricardo's, the ask was 21,000, and for the holiday market, the ask was 14,000.
Just confirming the city on the night market for Ricardo's,
Ricardo's was
29, not 21.
Was 29.
Night market.
Question.
Second one was 40, which was.
The 40 was the every other Friday.
And yes,
Oh, because it's a April to
Yeah.
October.
October and
Yeah.
then 14K for the holiday.
But then what does he get from the city too?
Their contract with the city for both the night market and the holiday market combined is 33,280 for, I believe, a 1-year term.
I'm sorry, 33,280 for
12 months.
For a 1-year term, which I believe is a calendar year.
So it's for, and so you just mentioned this, but it is specifically for the night market at the depot, but then also for 2 winter events, which would be the winter market. So having those 2 nights.
Yeah, but
November and
not the
December.
Ricardos, yeah.
Correct.
And so does that include, is the space in kind or that the Lacey? They said it's at the community center, is the space in kind, or do they use some of those dollars to cover the cost of the space? Or do we know?
I don't know, but we can certainly get that information for the committee as to whether or not the community center is included in that contract or separate from.
Gotcha.
And I assume there's no cost to them for the holiday. I mean, for the a depot, the night depot.
Do we have like a?
$21,000 for Ricardos to confirm is the ask.
Do we have a lease cost for the depot space, or do we just, hey, it's there, go ahead and bring your vendor, set up shop, or?
We can look into that
So-
and definitely follow up with some information for this committee.
Wondering if
Depends
it's
on
kinda
their
like-
consideration.
Like park shelter space, you know, like you go to the park and it says shelter is reserved and somebody's gotta come and flip the switch and turn the power on and.
Yeah, if we could figure out what the 33,280 includes, that would be helpful.
Yeah, and we can certainly get you some more information on that, but I do just, believe that that is for the contract and the plan is for CED to pay parks for the rental for the Winter Fest is the information I'm getting from CED right now. In addition to that, I think there are some vendor fees mentioned in the application materials for
For his, yeah,
night market.
Yeah.
yeah, he couldn't run that without.
You know, when you go and you see the same tents, then I thought, oh, well, those tents must belong to the city. And then people bring their table. I'm not sure exactly how it works, and I'm not asking you to dig it up either.
No,
Just-
it's unfair, you bring your own tents, it's historic.
And a lot of those vendors, have other places at other, markets and festivals, and so they do have their own materials that they bring.
Circuit, They
Yeah.
take from place to place.
Well, they all look the same, so I was just like,
They all go to Costco. That's what they would tell us, that it's unfair, go to Costco and buy your tent,
yeah.
so, yeah.
And for awareness, all of our interviewees and applicants will receive a follow-up email from me tomorrow, letting them know the next steps in the process that this committee will review, make recommendations, and then council will approve with the budget. And so our recipients do have a bit of a wait, or applicants before they are notified. So just for this committee's awareness, if that question comes up, they can anticipate a follow-up email tomorrow.
Okay.
Good.
So this event where they got 4,800 people, I mean, is it specifically because Dick's was there? How'd you feel?
That's-
I think it's a draw
It is a
Definitely
draw.
But like,
on a
so on a
regular.
I wanted to know, like on a regular, and I forgot to ask that, like on an average night, what are they pulling in? How many attendees are we looking at? How many vendors are we looking at? It's something that I should have asked, but I'm sorry.
I haven't been to it just once.
Okay,
I've been to it several times and it's because I keep forgetting, I'm driving and it's like all this action and I'm like, okay, let's stop and see what all this action is about. And you get out and you go over there and of course the food truck is bustling, and then, the tents with the different vendors is bustling. This is the first time I've seen Dick's there, but I would say without their presence, I would say you probably trim off maybe 1,000 people. 1,000, yeah. Okay.
So they do provide numbers in their packet as far as the total number of visitors through the duration of the event. And so it would be pretty easy on just kind of an estimate for us to take that total and divide it by the number of opportunities for the night market, knowing that it runs every other Friday, April through October.
I don't think I need to attend.
Yeah, I've been several times,
Music playing, kids playing,
mostly to eat,
food.
but
And
I like his idea of
too.
making Lacey an actual place to go to, which is nice, but like I'm just trying to see how this translates into
Mhm.
hotel stays until,
Right.
is this something that we nurture until 2026 and hope that these 2-day events really blossom into something, or do we, I'm calculating in my head, how much
Yeah.
is it gonna cost us, or the hotelier specifically,
yeah, and that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to know, like, is there some 2-day events in your future? Cause that's what I really need to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we are ahead of schedule. I do believe our next interview is here early. If this committee would like to start the interview early or take a brief recess.
Our next interview is
The Thurston County Fair and Event Center.
Thurston County Fair.
it's bolded, so I thought, oh, well, it's not bolded. It's grayed. I thought, so I put it down as
That's
a,
okay,
No problem.
that's okay.
So at the
No,
discretion
we
of
love
this
you anyway.
committee,
Yes,
we
sir.
could begin early if you'd
center
like, or
is-
take a brief.
bolded either.
We
I'm
can-
good.
Yeah,
we
if we-
will.
You guys wanna take 5 or should we
No.
offer that?
Let's do it. She's here. Let's do it.
We can offer that extra 5 minutes to come see.
Take a break after each one.
Get an extra 5 minutes. Right? So please state your name and your event that you're representing today and give you an extra 5 minutes to bring it home.
Hello, well, thank you, everyone. I believe I have a.
Yes, so you have that remote there. You'll be able to navigate forward with the large arrow button.
Perfect. I love when remotes are simple. There's 3 buttons. I screwed up so much. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Thomasina Cooper, and I am the Thurston County Fair and Event Center Manager. I have been in this position since June 1st, so I'm still very new in my position with the fairgrounds. This is the first time in 15 years that the Thurston County Fair has actually had somebody in the manager position. So while the fairgrounds have been here for a long time, not having leadership for the last 15 years, here I am, all sorts of opportunities to really jump in and grow what we're doing out there at the fair. So
I didn't realize that. You guys haven't had a fair director, huh?
we have not. So I've got my work cut out for me. Our fairgrounds is located between Long Lake and Hicks Lake on Carpenter Road. We have 26 acres of property, and we have a variety of buildings on that site. Our facilities include 3 large buildings for indoor events, 10 animal barns, a small arena, 2 stages, and many open areas outside. We have multiple restrooms, kitchens, and even RV camping spots. As you know, the Thurston County Fair is a community event and has been a community institution since 1871, so we have a long history. Our fair, which happens each summer, typically the first weekend of August, attracts 20,000 to 25,000 attendees. And during this fair, we know that approximately 1,000 of these attendees spend the night in paid hotel or other lodging here in our community. The rest of the year, while the fair is not occurring, we host all sorts of classes, club meetings, private events such as weddings, baptisms, quinceañeras are very popular at the fairgrounds, I've learned, retirement parties, as well as large multi-day vendor markets and conferences that attract folks from all over. These events bring in another 25,000 people to the fairgrounds annually and also generate approximately 1,000 paid lodging nights in our community. These are vendors, entertainers, trainers, and of course, folks coming in as event attendees who are spending the night in our community. And this is where the Lacey lodging tax comes in. With an average annual 60% occupancy rate, the fairgrounds is underutilized. And we know that. We're looking to change that. With your help, we will significantly increase the knowledge of the fairgrounds and activities happening there by increasing our reach and our advertising outside of Thurston County. With your investment, we will focus on radio, newspaper, and online advertising, oriented to the I-5 corridor, including Pierce and King counties, as well as Mason County, which does not actually have a county fair. As a result, this advertising will have a twofold benefit, helping both draw more folks in from outside the county and shining a light on the use of the fairgrounds for other multi-day, large-scale events. In addition, we are also requesting financial assistance to address our Wi-Fi needs. As we all know, these days, Wi-Fi is key to everything, right? We have vendors who are unable to run credit card payments, nonprofits who are unable to run donations at their events, and attendees who are unable to access information online about our community. We have worked with our IT department and identified the system upgrades we need. And so we are asking in part that the Lacey LTAC committee help us fund that system so that we can get it up and running to support our folks who are working out there on the grounds. Not having internet is a big deal, or not great internet, shall we say. So we have identified some other granting sources as well that will help us meet that need with your investment. Now, we know that tourism is extremely important. And we also know that the work that we're doing at the fairgrounds will absolutely enhance tourism in Lacey. Because of our location up there on Carpenter Road, people who go to the fairgrounds are primarily likely to go to Lacey businesses and lodging establishments. We're just down the street from Safeway, a variety of restaurants and other businesses that people stay and use. We know, in other words, that increasing use of fairgrounds will increase the heads and beds here in the city of Lacey. And of course, that impacts the city tax revenues to benefit everybody. We also know that the partnership with Lacey and the fairgrounds is really important. And as somebody who's new in the position, I'm really looking forward to deepening that relationship. We're neighbors right there on Long Lake. We share line boundary, and I would love for us to consider how else we can maximize that park, the Long Lake Park, with the fairgrounds. And so I'm excited to be in this role in part because I see that opportunity, particularly with the city of Lacey, to really deepen that relationship. Let's see. So I appreciate you being here today. You can see on the screen there's some snapshots from one of our fairs over the years, the carnival, the horses, the kids. There's nothing like the smell of the cotton candy, the sound of the calliope music, the thrill of the winners holding their blue ribbons, whether they be young kids or folks with their canned goods that they are so proud of. And I would love to invite you out to the fairgrounds. We have a number of fall events coming up. That includes, now let me look, a very full fall schedule. Our secondhand safari rummage sale, which is always a big hit. A fall festival hosted by Lady L, a local individual. A motorcycle show, and 4 holiday bazaars throughout the month of November. And those, of course, will feature local crafts and vendors. So lots happening at the fairgrounds. I look forward to the investment from the city of Lacey to help us grow that activity and make it an even more vibrant part of our community.
It's a motorcycle show.
Yeah.
It is the motorcycle show, November 16th, Saturday, November 16th. And it is being hosted by Tim Grisham, who runs the Ton magazine. And I can't remember if they have a event name or not. I'm sure they must. It's gonna be great fun. Motorcycles and vendors all over.
Do they have an estimate of how many heads will be there?
At the motorcycle show, oh, I think that they're expecting somewhere between 300 and 500 people throughout the 2 days. Yeah, it'll be pretty well attended.
Do you know how many, and you probably put this in your application, how many multi-day events do you have like annually? Do you think?
Annually? I would say probably between 20 and 25 multi-day events. We have a number of markets that come in. We have a number of conferences that come in pretty regularly. And so bear with me because with only a few months under my belt, I haven't had a full calendar year to be able to say, I know for sure, but that's based on my research and my recollection.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Thomasina, for your presentation today. A couple questions. For your 1,000 nights stays, are they split between Thurston County hotels, or is it specific to Lacey, or do you partner with Olympia as well?
So this is the first year that we set up the geofencing with the Olympia visitors,
Okay.
Convention Bureau, Olympia and Beyond, Experience Olympia and Beyond. And so I haven't gotten the full detailed report yet to be able to tell you that.
Okay.
But given our location, I would be very hard pressed to believe that the majority of the folks are not staying in the city of Lacey or the Lacey area.
And my second part of that question is, do you have a host hotel that you're working with or that
No, but I would love to set that up.
Okay,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely love
Well,
to
we
set
have
that
some
up.
people here that might be able to help you with that, so
Excellent.
definitely,
Excellent.
definitely.
Looking to, actually, Andrew, we did have a few of our judges stayed, our 4-H judges spent the night. And I know a few of them stayed at your establishment, 3 or 4 of them, if I recall correctly, because we paid bill on that.
Committee, just for awareness, although we are ahead of schedule, we are nearing our 10-minute time slot designation.
Perfect.
One last question then, we are in the Pacific Northwest, we get lots of weird weather here. How much would it take to stop an event? I mean, a little bit of rain, we're talking about a lot of rain, I mean, snow.
Well, I suppose it depends on what the event is. We are not necessarily the host of a lot of these events. We are the facility. And so oftentimes for private events, it would be up to the event host to determine. I think if there are bad weather elements where it's icy and we can't have people out driving, you know, that's the general kind of sense of where we're at the moment weather-wise. Then if it's not safe, if there are major safety risks, then we would close the center, but we're hard pressed to do so. There have been a number of years where we have had fair through very, very hot days, through smoky days, through rainy days. The show must go on when it comes to fair. Yeah,
I have one last question. Do you have any capital projects on the horizon?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any capital projects on the horizon?
Oh, I'm so glad you. Oh, great question. So Councilmember Miller, we have got an agriplex building that we're working on right now. This is separate from our lodging tax request, of course. The county identified 3 pretty rundown barns back, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, and got some funding. They knocked those down, put gravel over the lot, so it made it all even. And now we're gonna be working on building our agriplex, and that's gonna be a huge 40,000, maybe even larger square foot facility that's multi-purpose. It'll have multiple garage doors, lots of the infrastructure that will allow for flexibility, whether it is for emergency animal evacuation or COVID vaccines or huge events coming in, you know, big tractor sales events or car shows or that kind of thing. And so that's gonna be taking place over the course of the next few years. We've got some early investment from the federal government, fingers crossed, and we will leverage that for state funds and leverage the state funds. You'll see my smiling face again before you asking for some help from the local level on that, I'm sure.
So perfect.
That's an exciting project. I'm so glad you asked.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming and giving us your story. We really appreciate it. We want to hear from you guys.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I am excited to be here and I really am looking forward to working more with the city of Lacey. I think lots of partnership opportunity for us, so.
Thanks, Thomasina.
Thank you for your time. Nice seeing you all.
Good to see you too.
Okay, so 2 down.
Yeah, we hear music. Do you hear?
To go.
it?
Oh, absolutely.
I know, I always hear music from the fairgrounds. Shannon and I
so-
live close to the fairground.
Oh, okay, I didn't see, I was wondering, for some reason I thought you were in historical Lacey.
No,
And
no.
so.
I'm historical.
Hey, committee members, I do have a couple of updates from some of the questions that you had from the previous presentation.
Absolutely.
So just did some quick math here.
Okay.
They did estimate, again, that they had around 60,000 visitors per Unite Market events. They
Okay,
have 14 events, which puts them on for around 4,500. As we heard though, our biggest night and draw was the 4,800. So that's just taking the numbers and accounting for them. That's still a good question to ask the applicant. The other thing I just wanted to confirm is that they do charge vendor fees for booths and spots at their events.
So those numbers make it sound like there is 6 or 7 events that they, so the April to October, how many, and it's every other week, so how would this?
14.
That's 14.
Yep, and then there's the 2 winter events
60,000,
per their application. This is per their
40.
application.
4,500. and 14 don't math out. In my mind, it could work out really good on paper.
And we can
Do you see
follow
what I'm
up
saying?
with that, with a breakdown per each application
Yeah,
as well.
and it's neither here nor there, honestly. So 60,000,
So we're close.
because I'm thinking 5.
No,
and-
we're close. Yeah, we're close.
So they have to. they
Say,
have to-
I trust the calculator over here, so.
Okay, perfect. Well,
Oh.
thank you. My math is not.
So the exact total is 4,285.
Oh,
Okay,
Shannon, do we have a rough estimate? Sorry, and I think we do want the link next time for just back to
To
the
go to the
applications, but
application.
do we have how much they charge for vendor fees? I mean, it's probably
We
nominal.
don't have that information.
I
It's
don't
a
need
different
it.
contract
I don't-
between
yeah, I
FA
don't need it.
and
Okay.
the vendors of the booth.
Excellent. Well, here it is 3:55 and we have our next interviewee, Stephanie. Thank you for joining us. You have in front of you, Stephanie, a remote that will allow you to navigate just one button, the big round one, straight forward.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes.
So my name is Stephanie Hemphill and I'm representing All Kids Win. We are a local 501c3. We feed over 1,000 kids in Thurston County every single week. And during COVID, we went from about feeding 400, 500 kids a week to feeding about 2,200 kids a week. And on top of that, all of our fundraisers couldn't happen, right? Because we couldn't have in-person events. So we created this Haunted 5K because we thought, okay, well, we could do a virtual run. So our first year, we did a virtual run. And just to back up a little bit too, I just want to say that we do serve middle and high school students here in the North Thurston School District. So North Thurston School District is it goes between about 20% of our bags, of that 1,000 bags, goes directly to students in North Thurston Public Schools. It'll go anywhere from 16 to 20% depending on the week. So we, like I said, we created this Haunted 5K, and we did it originally virtually. And then the next year we could do it in person. So we did a hybrid for people who still weren't quite comfortable. We asked people to mask up and come and run. And it was such a huge success. So we have, as you can see the picture here, the City of Lacey comes and joins us. They wear their blow up duck costumes. And we invite all of our sponsors to set up booths and allow the kids to go trick or treating before it starts. We do a Kids K where we don't actually measure it out as a K, but we just let the kids run. They all get a ribbon. It's a really fun way to start. We invite people to come and dress up in costume, and we do it right down the road at Woodland Creek Park and Trail. So we were kind of looking around, and we've done so many events with Justin at the parks, and he said, you know, Woodland Creek has a trail and the loop there is half a mile. So, okay, so we walked it off. And if you do the park and you go up down to Carpenter Road and you come back and you do that twice, it's exactly a 5K. So it worked out really, really well. And so this is going to be our 4th year doing the event. And we're adding a costume contest this year. We do ask our sponsors to bring raffle prizes for us to raffle off or to do games or all sorts of stuff. And then obviously the 5K is the big draw. My cousin Rick owned Ricardo's for a while, and he does breakfast burritos. So we sell those as food there. We did try to have a food vendor, but it's so early in the morning, it starts at 10. It didn't really hit because the food didn't hit at the right time, but those grab and go burritos are really nice. So I just put some pictures up here so you can see really how much fun it is. We always have Miss Thurston County come out. She hands out ribbons. We have about 200 people that participated last year, and we do all of this on a shoestring budget because every dollar we want to go back to the program. So when we're asking for funds, it's really to help us market the event so we can draw more people to the event because we have so much capacity to grow there at the park that we would love to see it grow. Every person who participates, signs up the next year, and then they bring a couple friends. So we're definitely growing, but we do have a partnership with KGY, KAYO, where they trade some radio ads for us. So we do that for free, which is really nice. But we would love to be able to invest some money in actually marketing the event to outside of Thurston County and really having this event grow and be a community draw.
That picture's taken at 10 in the morning?
Yeah. Yeah. I know we always do it the Saturday before Halloween, and so far we have had good weather, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that.
Is there, do surrounding counties and jurisdictions have something like this? Or if, when you reach out,
Mhm.
are you're really wanting to reach out because nobody else is doing that?
Yeah, exactly. There's really nothing around the same time. There's nothing like costumed. There's been some things that have popped up and down, but we're the most consistent one in the area. So where we're coming into our 4th annual and really have, people knowing that, oh yeah, there's a 5K right before Halloween, and you can dress up in costumes and.
And so how did you get involved with the food insecurity at the school level?
So the history of All Kids Win, my mom actually started the program, and she was out on a homeless census with the City of Lacey Police Department. And this was almost 20 years ago. And she noticed in that time how many kids were in these homeless encampments. And I think that we all think of homeless people or the houseless people as adults. And then you don't think about the kids. And so that really shook her. I was in high school at that time, and I had a little brother in middle school and one in elementary school. And so she started reaching out and to see what she could do to help support the kids. Thurston County Food Bank does a program called the 4 Kids program, and their program feeds kids in elementary schools, but there was a gap in middle and high schools. So she started working with the 4 Kids and the other founding board members to say, okay, what do you put in the bags? How can we do this? And then we started connecting with the schools. Our first school district that we worked with was North Thurston School District, North Thurston Public Schools. And then we went outside to Olympia, Tumwater, and we now feed all grades K through 12 in Yelm, Rochester, Rainier, and Tenino. And then we recently took on Wahilute as well.
Wow.
Yeah, Kelly started this. I
Yeah.
remember.
We worked with Ruth a
Yeah.
lot.
I
Yeah.
had to work with Kelly and Terrell.
Oh, yeah.
Getting it started when I
Yeah.
worked with Terrell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
So yours is a 1-day event. However, with additional advertising, you might get some overnights. Are you having any overnights?
Not as of right now, but our marketing is so small right now, that it's really just been, hey, tell your community friends, and then we also put it on the radio. But our hope would be that, they would come maybe the night before, because it's an early morning event, stay the night, enjoy the community, and yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And how many bags of food did you say you give out a year?
We do about 1,000 every week. So, and then there's 40 weeks in the school year, so about 40,000 bags of food.
Yeah, like their Facebook page, you'll learn a lot.
Yeah, and the City of Lacey comes in and has bagging parties. So we've had some of the staff come out and bag food, which is really fun. Yeah, and we're the Compassionate Communities partner this year for North Thurston Public Schools, which we're really thankful about. And we can educate the students as well on what's happening in their schools.
Committee members, just for awareness, we are at 4:03.
Yep. Any closing remarks?
Just thank you. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Yeah,
Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
As a reminder, we are expecting our next interviews virtually. So,
I have a correction to my correction, and I can tell you why my math wasn't exactly right, is because they said 64,000, so that gets us closer to the 4,500,
Okay.
but
Oh, per
60.
night, per night. at the-
per totality of the event, not nights, these are just event goers.
Right, but we're still final answer 14 and 2, so 14 big events.
Yes.
2, okay.
Yes, yeah,
That's a commitment.
so my math was even
14.
closer.
And it's never gonna let this down. She's.
You know,
she is gonna
meeting
puck up
math
the
is
bat.
bad, so it's a.
21, 15. I was saying 5,000, how are you getting 60?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah. She adjusted.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
she
I-
solved for X.
My number was correct the first time.
Oh, is it?
Is what I'm clarifying.
Okay. So interview number 4, Reach the Beach.
Yes, and it looks like, Susan, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I am, and I have Brooke joining as well. Is that possible to have 2 presenters?
Yes. Yes, so she, it looks like had a connection issue. She should be joining. Is one of you going to share your screen for your presentation?
I believe she is.
Excellent. Once she joins and gets that going, we can have that up. It's like,
What's in there?
Hmm?
What's in there?
It's just water.
Oh, darn.
Just raises the pH. Just raises the pH in it, so it's not as acidic.
This is.
I could get something, you know.
Smell it.
You just
And I would
go-
want some.
Season is a pretty cool name.
Everybody's passing.
Season
looks
is,
like,
Season?
it's a cool name.
Susan, that she has disconnected. Are you able to share your screen and start while we wait for her to join?
I am looking to see if I have the slides really quick. I'm sorry, one moment.
Oh, there she is. Hello, Brooke.
Hey,
Can you
Brooke.
hear us okay, Brooke?
Hey, sorry about that. I think, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Okay,
So
I-
Brooke, do you want to take a minute and share slides? Did you figure out how to do that?
yes, I will.
I'm going to go ahead and take a moment while she's getting going. Thank you so much for the ongoing support from the City of Lacey LTAC. We're excited to be out there next weekend. Weather looks good, knock wood, knock wood. We'll be doing, this is our 7th annual, and I'm going to let Brooke present for a couple slides, and then I'm going to tell you about some exciting things that we have coming next year.
Yeah, so I'm Brooke Wilson, and you probably already know Susan Olin. She's our executive director here at the American Lung Association. American Lung Association has been around for 120 years of impact, and our mission is to save lives by improving lung health and preventing lung disease. And we do that through research, education, and advocacy. I'm here today to request $15,000 to support our Reach the Beach ride as we grow this event from a 1 to a 2-day event. And I will have Susan, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But historically, Reach the Beach has been a 100-mile cycling fundraiser to support the American Lung Association and our mission. And we hold this at the end of September. This year's ride is September 28th, so next weekend. And then we are looking for 2025 in would be the 27th and the 28th, I believe, of September. This ride has historically started in Lacey and winds through the back roads of Thurston and Grays Harbor County, and ends with a celebration at the beach at Westport, hence the name Reach the Beach. This funding will contribute to an established and proven marketing plan that's recruiting riders from that 50-mile radius away. So historically, most of our riders have, about 90% of our riders have come from Seattle and the Portland areas. And oh, was there a question?
No, I apologize. Continue.
No worries. So I'll just, I'm gonna go ahead and briefly go over our marketing plan. So it's to support our regional digital marketing campaign, a partnership with Cascade Bike, and then that also supports the infrastructure to kind of accomplish this plan, as well as other grassroots marketing efforts. And so I have a couple of slides that just kind of outline our digital lead generator campaign. We've had really good success with this campaign that we're running on social media. And these are just some of the numbers behind this past year's campaign. We also have our social media and website. So we have another event down in Oregon that happens in May. And so we do a lot of cross promotions between Portland and their cyclists as well. And then I had also mentioned our partnership with Cascade, which Cascade does the Seattle to Portland bike ride. And they have a huge membership of about 140,000 cyclists. So part of our marketing campaign is also partnering with them to reach to very targeted marketing to specifically to cyclists. And then here are just some additional materials. We have City of Lacey with their logo and from your support this past year. So these are just our marketing materials. We have a jersey and a t-shirt and maps and everything as well. So Susan, do you want to talk a little bit?
Definitely. So we are excited to expand this ride from a one-day event to a two-day event in 2025. This event has historically had participants that are newer riders. They are riders that have a century ride under, that they want to hit that goal. And so they're riding during the summer. They're commute riders, bike commuters. And so this is kind of like an end of season ride for them. And then of course, you know that it's very fast and flat down from Lacey out to the coast. And so we get a lot of people that maybe are century riders, but they're looking for a personal record or a personal best time. So that's who we've typically been seeing as we're looking at the cycling community and looking to branch out into what is more interesting to a bigger community of participants. And again, looking to the Cascade Bike Seattle to Portland race, their STP race. A two-day event is something that people are really interested in. It's, there are people out there that are cycling 100 miles unassisted on a Saturday during the summer. And so they're wanting kind of that next level support when they're doing a two-day ride. We're seeing precedent set with a two-day ride across our organization nationwide, where we're seeing better numbers, better results from multi-day events than single-day events. And then here locally, of course, I've referenced STP, but additionally, Bike MS has also added a second day to their route up north in Skagit County. So what we're interested in, what we're currently doing is we've pulled an RFP for potential routes. We're very excited that Lacey continues to look like that's part of the route options. We have 3 route options that we're currently considering and taking through a stakeholder process with our partners and top cyclists. The first route is a point-to-point route from Renton down to Lacey as the midpoint, and then starting in Lacey, mimicking the current route on the second day. The second route that we have is a point-to-point from Packwood out to Westport. So similarly, the first day is Packwood to Lacey, and then Lacey would be the overnight accommodations, and then would be the start location for the same route as we're running right now from Lacey out to Westport. And then the third route that we're considering and more closely mimics what Bike MS is doing up north is on the Saturday to do the current point-to-point route from Lacey out to Westport, provide the transportation that we are currently providing, and then the second day do a loop from point to be determined. The route that we're currently looking at is still the rack, and a loop through the Thurston County bike trail system. And so that second day would just continue to be a loop. So that would be a start and finish at that potential Lacey rack location. So those are the 3 route locations that we're looking for. I know that we're asking for additional dollars from most of our LTAC partners this year because we're really anticipating having an increase in overnight stays. We think that Lacey is definitely going to be the recipient of most of those nights, and any of the variations of the route that we're looking at. And I'm gonna leave it open to questions now.
And for awareness, we have just roughly under a minute.
Any questions?
Did I hear correctly that you're also gonna have a route or another event from Seattle to Portland?
The Cascade Bike event, Seattle to Portland, is a current partnership with us, and so we promote our event into their system. So we sponsor their event. We use their listserv for advertising. So that's part of the dollars that we're asking for, is to pay for that access.
KSTP.
When, did I miss this, or when are you gonna firm up your route for this second day?
Yeah, so like I said, we have 3 route options right now. We're hoping to have a route and website ready before the end of the year. That's really what our target is. And again, that is dependent a little bit about, where we're getting funding from.
Thank you both
Thank
for
you.
joining us. Unfortunately, we are up to our next interview time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Maybe it is 4:15 and next we have Chris Ray for Capital Lake Fair.
Chris? Chris, how are you?
Would you like me to be?
Right there. See that remote there?
I didn't know if I had to push a button.
There's a clicker right in front of you and the button will advance your slides once Sadie gives you the green light.
Okay, thanks for the assist.
We're just helping, so. We may have heard this once or twice.
I've trained them well.
Her plan.
So the top button.
Center button should be the one that
The big
will
round
advance it.
Okay, thank you. So, hi, I'm Chris Ray, and I'm from Capital Lake Fair. And I'm here to show you just a few of many ways that Lake Fair used the City of Lacey lodging tax dollars awarded to us for 2024. Our festival, and how we promoted Lacey. So I didn't get this in the thing, so I just wanted to bring my t-shirt. So Lacey is right here in this teacup here. So we always put you on our t-shirts and our merchandising materials. So I know it's small, but hundreds of these were sold and are worn. So that's one example of marketing merchandise that we use your funds on. So I'm just not very good at this.
It's okay, it's okay.
I needed to go back to the other one.
There we go.
Yes, okay. So this is the cover of our official annual program. And every year we have a new theme. So this is another example of how your funds were spent toward this program. And note again, the little pink teacup has the word Cute Lacey in it. We include the City of Lacey on every annual program cover, as well as recognition as a huge supporter for us every year. The next image, I think I can do that. Now this is the huge sign that we have at the back of our float. And this is part of how your funds were spent to make this sign and many others. We don't use the same sign every year. I think that you were worried we did last year. So
I was just thinking about this. Did you read my mind?
well, we have a new theme every year. So so this is our annual theme decor for promotional traveling. And there's a huge sign that thousands of people in parades that we attend see. And there's 14+ festivals all the way from Oregon to Canada that we go to. And they in turn come back here. So that proves that we have people more than 50 miles away and that we do bring people here. We have to commission this new sign every year, depending on the float thing. We don't have 2025 yet. Yet again, another item, another sign we had on the float. It's at the front of the float. It's really cute. You have your little Lacey in blue there, light blue. And as our float goes by,
in each parade we go to, the announcer reads a little blurb that we send to them, and it always includes Lacey as one of our biggest supporters. We always mention that. And remember, we have to travel to 14+ festivals, and we always promote you at our festivals that we go to. We use our website to promote the city of Lacey. Here you can see your logo on the bottom left, and it links to your city website. Not every local city gets to be featured here, as it's usually saved for our best supporters, and we are proud to call Lacey one of our best supporters. So this is our website FAQ page, and down at the bottom, we promote the City of Lacey, and it links to your sub page called Visits, which gives a lot more information. So we promote the City of Lacey and a few of your popular sightseeing places, and it links to Visit website where readers can get more info. This is the last image because a lot of what we use your funds on would be boring as an image, such as our insurance costs or our many online applications, entry forms that we have on our website for vendors, entertainers, and parade entries, where there was a blurb on each one of them, encouraging people to look into Lacey as a place to lodge and eat and spend money. We truly appreciate your support from Lake Fair. And we depend on you to make Lake Fair a success, so really do. So thank you very much for anything.
So, so you know this group is, we're a numbers group.
What
right?
numbers?
We're a numbers group.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily dollars numbers, but how many people go to Lake Fair on an annual basis, would you say?
I'm saying within the 5 days, 150,000, so divided among 5, but it's different every day, so. And we're thinking, and it's really hard to get counts. I know that I provided all of this on the application, but we ask the people who come that we know, like the festivals that we visit, they bring all their people here. We ask IT, and they give us ridership numbers, and the state patrol gives us numbers, and our gatekeeper kind of counts. And we try to do a survey, but we haven't done one since before COVID. I need to get to that, so I know your numbers. Yeah, but
So I noticed that you didn't ask Olympia, or you didn't get money from Olympia, LTAC.
No, they didn't even vote on it. They just, what they did was table us. I watched the whole video and.
Then that being said, do you pay for any lodging for people that come?
Yes, we do. Well, we don't pay the lodging, but we do have a host hotel.
Oh, you don't pay for it out of any of your funds for the
No.
people in?
No,
hotels?
we have them come here and
Yeah.
we give them a good rate, and we get
Okay.
a host hotel, and there's several events mixed into that.
Do you use Lacey Hotels?
We haven't yet, but as I've said before, we would be happy to partner, and I put in my application what we require. We would not require, but it would be nice if they had a shuttle to take people downtown, from downtown to Lacey and back, to the parades or the events or the dinners. And you went to one of the dinners, I think.
Yeah, I did.
So that's kind of what we would like to have with any other hotel.
Committee for awareness, we have about 2 minutes until our next interview.
Does anybody in Olympia provide shuttles anymore now that the red or the whatever that hotel was up on the hill?
Red Line.
Yeah, Red Line.
Well, a year ago, we had one of our volunteers do the shuttling. But this year, Olympia School District was really good, and they provided a shuttle and a driver, and but we'd still prefer something with the hotel mixed in.
I have a question. The 14+ festivals, are those all just around the state, or are they outside of the state?
They're outside. We go to Astoria and Portland, And we go to Canada, 2 places, Penticton and Hayek. We've had to drop Hayek though, because they dropped out of the Northwest Festival hosting group. So we can't really, there's some kind of rule that we can't go there. So, and then many cities in between and far and wide. We're going to Leavenworth next weekend.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. Sadie will be sending out all correspondence to you or whoever is listed as the point of contact.
You will hear from me,
Yeah,
Chris.
she's always so helpful.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Thank you for any consideration, really appreciate it.
Excellent, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Donna was like.
next,
When she was a senior.
you must be Jocelyn Wood. All right, Jocelyn, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We've got about 10 minutes, so if you got a 5-minute presentation, we can save a few minutes for questions and
Perfect.
not gonna waste any of your time.
Awesome.
Center remote, center button, you got this.
We'll see.
All right, you have the control.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me here. My name is Jocelyn Wood and I'm with the Washington Center. And I do want to share some highlights from this past year and how LTAC supports the work that we do and then some things that we have coming up. I am just going to start with a brief reminder. So we have, right now, we've got 5 venues that we work on or manage, and that's the Washington Center in downtown Olympia, which has a main stage and a black box. We've got SPSCC Kenneth J. Menard Center with a main stage and a black box. And then we are currently working with Harlequin Productions right now, although that is ending at the end of this December. So we've got those 5 and we serve the residents of Thurston County as well as any of the visitors and tourists into Thurston County. And we have 17 artistic partners that are local to the region and they perform on our stages all year long and have first right to schedule any of the dates at certainly at the center. So looking back a little bit at this past season, we feel like we have officially recovered from the pandemic, which is a little bit nervous to say, but we feel like we're there. So in those venues, we had 416 events throughout the last season. We had 47 sold out performances, almost 80,000 tickets sold, and over 103,000 people attending. So we do have some performances that don't sell tickets, and so those people are attending, but we didn't sell a ticket through our system. So we are also excited. You probably can't see that box down there, but we, in comparison to national data, we really are way ahead of the curve. So specifically looking at subscribers right now in similar performing arts centers, the national average for subscribers, for new subscribers, is 46%, and we're at 81%. And renewing subscribers is at 69%, and we are at 75% renewing subscribers. So we're really excited to see those numbers as well. So we do kind of, we rely somewhat on national data to, as well as our own, but nationally, arts and culture are proven to be magnets for tourism, and those arts and culture tourists really do, they're a little bit different than some other tourists. They spend more than other travelers. They are more likely to stay overnight in lodging, and they're more likely to spend $1,000 or more during their stay. And 1/3 of the nation's arts attendees are outside of the county where they're seeing the event. So they're traveling somewhere outside of the county that they live in. And fascinatingly enough, our data is exactly 30% as well. So we feel like as one piece that we're able to pull those code reports from our patrons, we're able to see that we're tracking on that data.
So 30% of the 103,000.
Correct, are from outside of Thurston County.
So we work with Experience Olympia and Beyond to inform our patrons about local hotels and dining options and experiences while they're here. And then we also put information in our ticket reminders and if they got an e-ticket. So we send a ticket reminder to anyone that's purchased a ticket and it's got, you know, you traveling here, here's local opportunities as well. And then they may have gotten an electronic ticket, which also has more information on it. So with 416 events happening, it's hard to have like one host hotel or something to that effect. But we do try to, and with, I mean, that's more than the number of days there are a year. So yeah, we try to consolidate all of the information and send them regional information on that. I want to point out a couple things specific to Lacey. So the LTAC funds help support our marketing plan, which is really strategic, and promote all of the events and activities that we do. And we do have extensive advertising. We try to reach beyond just the Olympia, Thurston County area. We can target cities that are beyond the 50-mile radius. We've really increased our digital advertising in the last few years. We do still have print media, but we can go outside the region. And we've got that digital and print and then also communications. We've got a really large email database as well that we send to. And obviously we serve Lacey residents, but then we also have a lot of our volunteer base is from Lacey, and then we also work with a lot of sponsors from Lacey, and then of course vendors from Lacey as well. And I did want to add that we, in our playbill, which we hand out to every patron that comes to one of our events, we acknowledge all of our LTAC support. So we've got your logo in there, and then we also do it verbally from stage at our curtain speeches for our events. So we're taking the time to do that before each of our presented shows. And that's all I've got. So I've saved time for questions. We've got an amazing season coming up. We kick off next week with Ben Folds, and it is just one thing after another shortly. So.
Okay.
So someplace on the application I read 70% use lodging of your entertainers. Did I read that right? Because I don't have it in front of me, but would none currently use any Lacey hotels?
So most anyone that we're providing lodging for are like national, international artists, and they all provide us with a writer that Chad could also tell you more about. But they're pretty specific as to where they're either asking for very close, nearby, and or some of them are like, 5-star hotels in Seattle that they request. That's an unusual one. But so it's been difficult for us to put our artists specifically in Lacey hotels. We're certainly not opposed to it.
And as a reminder, committee, Chad is now here representing Ole Soccer. So any questions that you have that were not information included in the application, now would be the time to ask the applicant as she's here.
I don't think I have any. Multi-day events.
Multi-day events. We have one this year. We're doing a Broadway production and Dear Evan Hansen, and that'll be on 2 days. That is other than like the Nutcracker, which is a local production. So some of our local artistic partners will put on multi-day events, the Nutcracker being kind of one of the big ones where they're doing like a week or week and a half run. Our Washington Center presented events, the only thing we're doing this season is Dear Evan Hansen, and that's a fiscal situation that we have to look at how much are we paying the artist versus how much are we making in ticket revenue. Also, how much does it cost to have our crew, which is union represented, to have those labor hours as well. So, but we made it work last year. We had our first Broadway event that we had for 2 days in a row, and it sold very well both nights and did really well. So we're trying it again this year. But most of our events are one night only.
Gotcha.
2 minutes until our next interview.
Okay, is there any way to include Lacey Hotels in here in this? Meaning, I know that you said that there's certain stipulations that the actors and where the firms they work for, but you know, this is, you know, lodging taxes, dollars that are going towards supporting this, so just on behalf of hotels, we're just wondering how we're gonna get our ROI out of that.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly, I mean, there may be some artists that we can work with. I think some of the patrons are more likely. And so any ways that we can push, you know, Lacey Hotels, and I mean, we're not, yeah. The way that we're choosing to do that right now is to send people to Experience Olympia and beyond, to go that route. We can certainly talk to some of our artists, but actually I feel like Chad would have better information as to how the likelihood of some of the artists being out there. So.
So you've got.
That's our time.
Yep.
So you're asking for $5,000 more. What's that going to? What is the new to that?
The cost of everything rising, advertising, print, mailing, services, just farther reach as well, geographic reach.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. And we have our next presenter here.
So we have Lacey Makerspace, Mr. Sean Moore. John? There we go.
Thank you.
Excellent. Sean, you'll be able to navigate through your slides just with that arrow button.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm Sean Moore, I'm the Director of the Center for Business and Innovation at the Thurston Economic Development Council. And we are here to talk about the Lacey Makerspace today, and its application for the lodging tax. Lacey Makerspace is the premier makerspace in the Pacific Northwest in terms of community-based makerspaces. It is the largest. It is a partnership between the City of Lacey, the Thurston Economic Development Council, Center for Business and Innovation, and St. Martin's University. Recently, we expanded the makerspace to 8,000 square feet, and it is quickly becoming a regional workforce training hub and a hub for the creative economy. Right now, you can see the picture. We have a event and training space that's being utilized. We have a full wood shop, we have a full metal shop and a digital lab. We also have a full textile shop and a electronics workstation. So this is our map of our membership. Currently, we have over 200 members, and that's growing daily. The membership reach goes all the way up to Seattle, all the way down to Portland, and all the way west to Aberdeen. The Makerspace is really trying to be a community-based inclusive space. And that's really at the heart of what we're doing here. And so with that inclusivity, we have age inclusivity as well. And so you can see the Makerspace is being utilized with its classes and events by all ages. So this is our map of our regional draw for our events and for our classes. And so these are folks that have checked into our events and indicated their address in that check-in in our electronic system. And so we have a draw from, across the nation already. So the reason we are really asking for this funding is because we believe that the Lacey Makerspace can be a hub for creative tourism. And there is a lot of different hubs arising with the Olympia Armory, with the craft district in Tumwater. The Lacey Makerspace is one of those hubs, and it really could attract your non-traditional tourists, the tourist that's looking for the experience that they don't, that you wouldn't normally get, like going to makers fairs, like going to specific classes, and building community with other makers. And so I think this is a real opportunity for the city of Lacey to explore this type of creative tourism, because I think that there is a lot of other organizations that are bringing that creative tourism also into the region. And so I think the Makerspace can be a real hub for that. Right now, we already have a lot of events that are drawing folks from across the nation and even from other countries already. Those include the Sensory Toolhouse Adaptathon, which is an annual event. We're a part of the South Sound Studio Tour. We're an important part of the Northwest Economic Development course. That's a Department of Commerce course that has individuals coming from 3 states and staying here in Lacey in hotels. We host the HAC pre-apprenticeship trainings. We're part of the Art Was Wellness Arts in the Military. We're launching the first annual Fix It Fair in collaboration with Thurston Solid Works. We've hosted a number of tours, folks coming just interested in the model. And we've had, dignitaries like Senator Patty Murray and Representative Strickland here at the space already. We have classes that are drawing regional attention. So people are coming from outside of Lacey, outside of Thurston County to come and attend these classes. And so those classes are growing. These are maker classes. And they're part of this community that's being built that could really turn into a catalyst for that creative tourism. We are using the space as an event venue already, and so we have a lot of different organizations using the space for meetings and things like that. And we're starting to host makers nights for organizations, sort of doing retreats or annual meetings, things like that. So this is all, things that are already happening, and we really project that we're going to continue to grow these events and to continue to grow the reach of the makerspace. One of the goals is to actually create a Pacific Northwest Makerspace Consortium with the Lacey Makerspace at the head of that consortium. That would lead to an annual event in Lacey. They would have makers from all over the Pacific Northwest coming to that event. So we're here to ask for funding for marketing. We've done a lot of good work with our building of the space right now, and we put a lot of effort into the operations, but now we really need to broadcast this out because it is truly the premier makerspace in the Pacific Northwest, and it is still its best kept secret. And so we need marketing funding to really be able to push that out for digital advertising, for search engine optimization. We need to be able to expand the reach of our newsletter, and to be able to start to develop this Pacific Northwest Makers Consortium. And so that's the gist of it.
So what are your hours now? Because I know when you first started, you were limited hours, but I assume you've expanded those hours?
Yeah, so it's open Thursday from 12 to 6, then all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we will continue to expand those hours as we grow. The hope is to be open 7 days a week at one point.
I'm sorry, the Sensory Toolhouse, Adaptathon, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. You said that brings how many people from outside of the region?
So it's in its second year, and essentially what it is, it's a partnership with Sensory Toolhouse, who's local here. And it brings in folks, and basically they put they adapt toys for kids that have mental and physical limitations. So I wouldn't say that's a huge regional draw currently, but I think that it's, a first step to, what these types of events that do start to get more regional attention.
Maybe we just have a couple more minutes before our next.
Is that the place over by the post office?
Yes.
A lot of events now.
Yeah. They're really pushing. Our post office every day.
Yeah, it's next to the barber shop, between the barber shop and the dry cleaners. There's
Okay.
Yep.
Shop. Barber shop. That's like.
Okay, do you have any final? What is the ask? Sorry.
For Lacey Makerspace is $30,000.
Marketing.
It's a tourism related facility category.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Commissioner Moore.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so.
As a reminder, our next interview is virtual. There will not be any presentation materials for this interview, just face-to-face time. And I believe she is ready. Hello, Kristen, can you hear us?
Hey, I'm good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. Well, we are ready, I believe. Is everybody okay with starting a couple minutes early if you are?
Great, yeah. Do you need me to kick it off here?
Yes.
Yeah, bring it.
Cool. So I sent some materials ahead of time. Did everybody have a chance to take a look at those?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have any questions right off the bat?
Not right off top.
Okay. So the two questions I had that I got sent ahead of time, I think was, how did we promote Lacey? And what was the other one? Sorry, I'm just looking for it here.
Provide an update on your activities and outcome of your activities.
Okay, yeah, so that's right at the top of the Word document or PDF that you have. We did about 2,900 tickets a day, plus another 250 of guests. We had a ton of out-of-state buyers, ton of out-of-state purchases. Over a quarter of our ticket purchases came from outside of a 50-mile radius, which I think is the most topical for this group. Host hotels sold out. Overall, a really, really great year. We had an appearance from the mayor, appearance from the governor, record attendance. So it was great. And in terms of how we promoted Lacey, again, it was just kind of, if you scroll down through there, we did a few different social media posts. We had 3 or 4 hotels on our website linked out, and the web traffic was really big this year too, obviously. We had 36,000 visitors from January to August, which was 22,000 of them unique, and then over 200 unique clicks on all of the different hotel links. So yeah, overall a really big success for us. Really grateful for the funding that you guys gave us, and I put in the request in early August for the same amount for 2025.
Who are those host hotels, by the way?
The main folks that we use are just like half a mile from our site, which is the DoubleTree by Hilton, the Hilton DoubleTree, sorry. Yeah.
So it's just
And that's the main one. Everybody else that I reach out to, like, I have a hard time kind of getting codes and getting those things, but we do, everybody who gives us LTAC funding, like I put those hotels on our site and stuff. So the DoubleTree is the only one that I really have like proper codes with.
So did you just say you asked for the same amount?
I asked for the same amount this year, which was 10,000, and I was granted 5,000 last year.
And to clarify,
I see. Ask versus what you got.
Yes, last
Correct,
year's
yeah.
1,000.
And that was Andrew, to catch you up to speed because you weren't here last year. We specifically asked if there was an opportunity for funding that the hotels would be placed, Lacey hotels would be placed on the website. So, and that was one of the things that Kristen was talking about, so.
I think I was here last year.
Okay. I didn't know if you caught that part, so.
Gotcha.
So, last year we talked about the possibility of there being a Southtown block party in the city limits of Lacey. I know that you guys have that location, and it's a like kind of a mountain and an ocean backdrop, and it's a good location, right?
It's a great location, yeah.
Yeah, so we, you know, one of our funding decision last year was like, okay, well, you know, we're getting some Lacey hotels out of this. We would really like the event to be in Lacey. I know we can't pick your event location, and we're not trying to do that. Is there a possibility that there could be an event in Lacey with your group in the future? What do you?
I'd love to do that, yeah. I'd be open to any ideas like that, for sure. I don't just do this, right? So I do this, I also do the Love Oli Fest downtown, which is probably a pretty good model for you guys too. The stage is a little bit smaller, talent budget a little bit lighter. It's a free kind of family friendly thing. Whereas the block party is more of like, you know, proper ticketed music festival, 2 days. You know, it's all ages, but there's a huge beer garden. Yeah, the Love Oli thing is a little smaller, a little more family friendly. But I'd be happy to talk with you guys about that as well. That sounds fun.
Yeah, maybe we can put together a Love Lacey Rainier Vista jam.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Do you have any final comments for us?
I would just tell you that one of the big lessons that I learned this year, so this was like a pivotal third year for us. And I think we really dialed it in, right? The key is this kind of legacy headliner that, you know, isn't this like cool indie thing. It's more of like a household name type. And I will tell you that those folks are really expensive. We got Bikini Kill this year at a third of their usual rate because I put out an emotional plea and like got a homie deal on it. I don't see that happening. So I tell you that to say that like I'm asking for 10. I would love 10. I'll be grateful for 5, but like every dime counts when you're trying to pull in that bigger name.
Understood. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, folks.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Well, committee, we are about 5 minutes ahead in anticipation with a little over an hour left of interviews. Would this committee like to take a 5-minute recess before our next
Yeah,
meeting?
let's do that. Yep.
So.
I'm for it.
Make your plea.
Well, we are back.
Did we win? Okay.
With
Let's see the
a
highlights.
unique view.
Yes, please.
There we go. Excellent. So it is 4:55 and we have our next interview, Olympia Symphony here. Let me get your presentation pulled up really quickly. And there is.
It won't steal your thunder, Sadie.
Well, this is so. Here we go. Take it away.
Okay, thank you. My name is Jennifer Herman. I am the Executive Director of the Olympia Symphony. And this is our first time ever applying for lodging tax funds from the city of Lacey. And it might have been obvious that it's our first time. I will send my apologies that I didn't apply through the proper portal. The link I had took me to a fillable PDF rather than whatever I was supposed to do. So rookie mistake, but it helps to explain this is our first time applying. And the reason for being the first time, I will admit, I've been executive director since 2016. And I was really just blind to the community around us. I hit the ground running with the symphony. It's the Olympia Symphony. We perform primarily in Olympia. And I'm just going to be very frank and honest that I applied for Olympia lodging tax funds and I was really, truly just blind to the community around us. And last season, we had one of our guest artists stay in a hotel in Lacey. His name was Ricardo Morales, and we had a plan that we would take him to Ricardo's. And he loved it. And we ended up, we always show our guest artists around the city. They are usually staying in downtown Olympia. And we take them around there. Well, we didn't have time for that. And we showed Ricardo around Lacey, and he loved it. And I kind of had a head bonking moment of how have I been so blind to this? And so that's why it has taken the Olympia Symphony, which has been around since 1947 until now, to introduce ourselves to Lacey. If I just push this, will it start?
Yes, the large button.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot of information on my slides. I just thought I would show you some cool pictures. The symphony has really exploded in the last 3 years since coming out of COVID. Like I said, we've been around since 1947. But really we were your standard issue symphony, which is not bad. It's a wonderful thing to have an artistic organization that kind of treasures the past. But the pandemic really knocked ourselves aside our head and said, we really have to make sure that we're reflecting the community and the community's needs, and we need to evolve and grow and mature and be open to change. At that same time, we hired a fantastic internationally renowned conductor named Alexandra Ariache. She's from Brazil. And with her joining the symphony right out of the pandemic, we have really expanded our programming, our reach, but more importantly, we've expanded our own minds and seeing not what people we can bring to the symphony, but how we can fit into the communities. And by doing that in the last 2 years, we have experienced growth like we've never seen before. Our subscriber base, which used to be just really very local and very Olympia, we now have subscribers living in Snohomish. We have subscribers living in Bellingham. We have subscribers living in Portland, subscriber in Yakima. I mean, it's the reputation and the visibility of the symphony has really just come to the forefront. And we are attracting people from not only the core that we always saw for 75 years, but we have people that are bypassing going to Seattle for things because they want to stay here. And then we have people that are coming from a much larger radius to come to Olympia. While a lot of arts organizations, I guess I can really only speak for symphonies, that's what I research. While a lot of symphonies have seen not yet a return to their pre-pandemic levels of audience attendance, they're seeing their levels at anywhere from 60 to 80% of what they had pre-pandemic. Our audience levels have increased 35% since pre-pandemic. And that is not It's not by mistake, it's by intentional programming. And what you're seeing here is our new movie concert that we do on New Year's Eve. This year, our movie concert is Epic Movie Music Battles. So we'll be doing Superman versus Batman. We'll be doing Star Trek versus Star Wars. And then we're just playing Wonder Woman because we're led by a Wonder Woman and there's nothing to battle with that. We're just making a statement. Here's a photo of our audience. So we consistently are filling the Washington Center for the Performing Arts, which seats 1,000. And in addition, I wrote in our application about our outdoor summer concert. We are expanding that this next summer in 2025 to include a fun run. It will be called Beat Beethoven 5K. And so the idea is to run a 5K before we finish playing Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Yeah, it'll be pretty fun. What?
All movements?
All movements, right? So it's approximately 31 minutes, all movements. So you can either walk once around Capitol Lake for 2.5K or run twice around it for a 5K. So we consistently get between 3,000 and 4,000 people to this concert coming and staying overnight. And we're very excited about this new idea next summer to incorporate the athletic community. People travel from very far to participate in 5K events in the summer. People, I know runners, and I've talked to the local running club, and people look at what's offered and fill their calendar in the summer and travel to wherever those are. So we really hope to be a highlight in people's summer plans. So that's another
About 3 minutes until our next presentation.
Okay. And then in addition, so we have started community events where we set up in the street and we have people come and conduct this. This is because we've done it now for, we've done at 6 different festivals, and I would really love to present something like this in Lacey so that we can really start to expand where we associate ourselves with and how people see us.
I can come and conduct.
You can come and conduct the orchestra, yes, it's very fun.
You still give away the batons?
We never did.
The little.
Except that we give you a sticker.
I got with mine.
It's fun. I think we can afford to buy batons for people.
I got a cord with a stick in it all the years,
Well,
so.
you're special.
Yeah, okay.
So. do
Have
any
you done
questions?
any outside events in Lacey?
We have not, like I said, I've been blind to the community around us. We have not done any events in Lacey.
So these are all professional musicians.
They are, these photos, we partnered with the youth orchestra and we had them play side by side with us, but the Olympia Symphony is made up of professional musicians, 65 musicians, and they're all paid. A lot of them are music educators in the community, and a lot of them are full-time gigging musicians that put together their living by doing this and similar things.
Any of them live in Lacey?
You do? Yeah, we have teachers that are at River Ridge, and mind is blanking, but yes, we have North Thurston based teachers at all levels, elementary, middle, and high school.
Another minute, committee?
Multi-day events?
Yeah, so what I put in my application really is the whole year. We have 1 to 2 events a month. And I tried in my limited word count to describe our entire year of events. So it's not just one event that I'm asking for support for. I'm just really asking to be able to put your name on us all year round for everything.
And any final remarks?
Come to the symphony.
Thank you so much.
We're presenting Sweeney Todd, that guy, in a few weeks, so.
Awesome, thanks, Jennifer.
Good.
Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, 5:05, I believe our next presenter is here.
It's like home week. Home week for me.
Hi, I am your next presenter.
I'm not fair.
Excellent, Erin. Will you have a remote up there that will navigate through your slides with the large button up there?
I'm guessing forward and backward.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you all for having us and giving us this opportunity. Hi, Chad. I know some of you. If you don't know who we are, my name is Aaron Lamb. I'm the producing artistic director at Harlequin. We are a not-for-profit, professional regional theater company right here in the Tri-City area in Thurston County. If you think about your neighborhood community playhouse, which almost every town has, we are not that. We're a professional company, and not every town has that. We feel we're very lucky to be in such a supportive community. We hope the community feels lucky to have us. We are the only professional theater company between Seattle and Portland, basically between Seattle Repertory Theater and Portland Center Stage. So we produce 7 shows a year. Actually, I'm gonna go to my first slide. There we go. Because it's just an introduction slide. We produce 7 shows a year on our main stage, and we produce that with local professional artists from Lacey, Tumwater, Olympia, all of Thurston County, from the environs around. We produce that with regional artists that come from Seattle or from Portland. And we often use artists that come from nationally from New York, from Los Angeles, and anywhere in between. So my first slide is just a production still from our most recent production of Cabaret. This played June and July of this year. For about 6 weeks. We saw about 4,500 attendees to this production alone. In the center there, you see Karen Terry. She played Sally Bull. She's a Seattle-based actress. Upstage of her standing is Adam Rennie. He played the MC. He's a New York-based artist who's originally from Sydney, Australia. And then around them are local and regional artists from right around here. We also hire musicians, actors, directors, designers, lighting, sound, costumes, projections, props, everything. All of these artists are professionals. They come from our region and all around. So our reach, I think the first story I'm telling here is that our reach, we may be a local company, but our reach is regional. And our audience reflects this as well. We have a lot of our audience, the majority of course is from Thurston County. But we have a lot of people that come down from Seattle, a lot of people that come up from Portland and further. And then we have a lot of people that also come nationally because they hear about the work we do in some of the national outreach and advertising that we have out there. So of course, we're here for funding. And we can talk about a picture of I'll tell a story a little bit. I'm at 247. I'll tell a story about what that need is and why it's different this year. But this is just a picture of our program for Cabaret. This is one of the marketing materials that we produce. We produce 7 of these a year. They're about 24 to 32 pages, depending on the show. We produce about 2,000 of them per show. They have local ads. Plenty of opportunity for exposure for all sorts of businesses, municipalities, whatever. And about 2,000 to 4,000 of these go out per show. So upwards of 14,000, 15,000 of these go out a year. We also, as you can see in our application, we have many various avenues that we market our shows. This is just sort of an example of some of our marketing material. This is from a publicity shoot for a show that we did in 2023 called The Revolutionists. And then my last slide is just showing, and unfortunately, this is the TCG website, but if you scroll any measurable amount, their logo goes away. But this is the Theater Communications Group, which is our national advocacy, communication and networking group that we are a budget level 2 member of. And we have a listing on there. So we are right now only one of 4 theaters in Washington State that has a listing, but we have people from across the country who come into Thurston County to see our work because of things like this. So to talk about funding, our funding, of course, has changed post-pandemic. Our need has changed post-pandemic in ways that many businesses are feeling, right? Materials costs are higher. That's a small impact to us. Labor costs are higher. That's a big impact to us. But a bigger impact is unique to us. And in a post-pandemic world, or in a pre-pandemic world, it was a foregone conclusion that at 7:30 the show would start. And nowadays, it is not a foregone conclusion. At 7:30, we may not be able to start the show unless we have built the capacity to have a stand-in for somebody else go on stage that night. There's an additional cost for that. And if we don't have that, then the show doesn't go on and we lose the revenue there. We've experienced both of those, as have most theaters and performing arts groups in our, in our sector. So we are, of course, looking for ways to cover that cost, looking for ways to better address that cost as we grow. But our audience currently is growing and we're heartened by that. So I'm at 5 minutes and 32 seconds. So I guess I'll take some questions.
So what do you do to promote Lacey or Lacey motels?
Well, we currently nothing specific. I think we think of ourselves as a member of the full community of Thurston County, and we serve that full community. And many of our people coming to us do the same. So does that mean that in the future there's not opportunity for that? I think there is.
Your location is?
We're in downtown Olympia, the State Theater,
Yeah.
Fourth and Washington.
Okay, that's what I thought. And can you tell us, do you have any capital projects planned for your location?
We just completed a renovation that we're still fundraising for. And so we do have a second phase to that capital project that will be planned for the future. Will be a renovation of our front of house, lobby, marquee, exterior. That's a little bit on hold at the moment, where we just finished renovating our backstage.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I come to Harlequin.
Excellent.
Just a couple more minutes left, committee, before this interview.
Do you have any like multi-day situation? Like, I know when you're doing theater, it's like, hey, here's tonight's show. And that doesn't extend till tomorrow night. Another show, we're doing the
You
same.
know, we run each of our shows, we run 7 productions a year. They each run between 3 weeks and 6 weeks. So they'll run, we run 4 nights a week.
I believe what the deputy mayor is asking though is if there are events where if you purchase one ticket, it's over a couple of days or something like that, not just a new show every night.
Right. We currently know.
Okay. It's not like acts 3 and 4 are tomorrow night, 1 and 2 tonight.
No, but
Yeah.
depending on the production, we could do something like that, but we don't have anything on the books right now. No.
And the reason I ask is because this group is focused on heads and beds.
Right.
And so 2-day events are obviously generate more of that.
So do any of your performers that come from far away, they probably stay in?
So we often house those performers and we do it 2 ways. We house them either with, if they need a longer term stay, we'll house them with host families, or we will house them in hotels in the region, yeah.
On your website, do you have the opportunity to list where to stay if you're out of town guest or what to
Yeah, we
expect? Okay, and do any of those point at the Lacey hotels, or is it just more global to Thurston County?
I don't know at the moment.
Okay.
But they could,
Perfect.
Very well could.
they could. And should.
Right.
Do you have any closing remarks for this group?
I don't, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you, Aaron.
Moving right along.
Our next interview, Janet is here.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Come on in. Got your water?
Yeah, I travel with this everywhere because never know when you need it, right?
That's right.
And Janet, there is a remote right in front of you. The large button in the center will help you navigate through your slides.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So I am Janet Crater. I am the Washington State USSSA Fast Pitch Director and the owner of the Celebration Tournament. I've been doing tournaments in the area for close to 30 years. Sue Falish actually said, Janet, why are you not putting in for this, right? Because I've been around forever and done that. I went, I didn't know anything about it. So ta-da, my first time here. And I hope that I answer all your questions in going through this. This will be our 3rd year of holding the Cascades National Championship. It was held in 2023 in July and 2024. Here's a little bit of an overview. The economic impact report came from Experience Olympia. I partnered with them for a lot of the information that I needed right from the very beginning. Jeff Bowie was my guy. He helped me through a lot of stuff. I'd not ever hosted a national tournament before, and I knew that I needed community help. And he was extremely helpful. So anyway, I turn over all my zip codes. They make these wonderful reports that show what happened to the impact. You'll notice I've listed on this slide 3 different hotels that I used based in Lacey. There were only 2 other host hotels that were based, one in Tumwater and one in Olympia. So I do focus mainly on Lacey because the regional athletic complex is my main premier complex for this event. You can see the differences between the 2. I think that is most important to point out. The direct sales for businesses increased by 30% from 2003 to 2024. And our overnight attendees increased 60%. And that really is with a reduction of 1 day in the event. In the first event, it covered the 10th through the 15th. And the second year, it covered the 10th to the 14th. So there was just a huge increase in the number of teams traveling to this area from 50 miles away to attend. Okay. All right. So an overview of the activities, just so you get a good idea. National events like this have opening day, and the opening day activities for this, we run all of our opening day stuff July 9th. 2025 will be at the RAC and at one of the hotels that offer up a meeting room that goes with I work deals with them to help me with the umpire rooms and that kind of thing, because I have to take care of that. And then the teams, I route them there, so that way they stay and they end up filling up, which is kind of cool. So anyway, this year we're gonna run, every year there's a theme, and the girls really enjoy it. We have girls from ages 8 to 18 participate. And our theme this year will be Circus Fun, or 2025. Opening activities include skills competitions. We make sure all the teams are registered correctly, player clinic, equipment. We have food vendors and equipment vendors. Some are from local, some are coming from outside to participate in that. Other activities that we've done in the past was a restaurant takeover and a Capitol Mall scavenger hunt. I don't know how that's going to, I know it's kind of fun, right? The kids had a blast. We just haven't figured out how to make that work again because, well, it's logistically kind of difficult, but anyway. We hold the coaches meeting and umpire meeting on that first day as well. So everyone's coming in either the night before or that day to help or to participate. They get rooms, they're doing all their thing. And then we start games. Games are played that will be played July 12th to 10th to 12th at the RAC, Rainier Vista, which also is within the city of Lacey, Yager, and Stevens. So I use those 2 as well. And then we all come back together at the RAC on July 13th for the championship games. All the championship games are played on the same day. So it kind of adds to that. We had a lot of teams last year. We had a couple of teams from Alaska, and the one team that didn't advance to the championship game stuck around for the extra day to watch their other team from Alaska that came down. So that was a lot of fun. But we like to use the RAC for the older girls, mainly like 18s, 16s, and 14s, just because, you know, right? It's the nicest one we've got, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been to those other.
Yeah, I mean, the other fields are good. Stevens, they've done a lot of work on it, Yager, but it's dirt, and so sometimes anyway, we all like the RAC.
Yeah.
The main goals of this event is really my primary goal, having been doing this for so long, is really just giving an opportunity to promote the sport and offering girls an opportunity to play a game they love. When it was first brought to me, hey, Janet, do you want to do this? I was at the national convention at USSSA in Florida. And I said, oh my gosh, we need to do this in Washington because there's no other USSSA Western States tournament where Washington teams and Oregon and California, et cetera, don't have to travel like east of the Mississippi to go to a national event. So we brought them here. So that's super exciting for me. It's just fostering that community engagement. I get to say some wonderful things because we live in a wonderful state. So it makes it very easy to promote. And then I want to give them the opportunity to celebrate their success through the season. This kind of is at the end of their season. And they come and they have a blast. This is one of the teams that won, being pictured here. They we're getting their pictures taken. Those individual awards, you can see barely are, we do individual awards for best defense, best offense, you know, best pitcher, you know, all that stuff.
Should you have like a big banquet at the end?
No, we do as the championship games finish, we gather the two teams, first and second place together, and we do a big ceremony right there at the field, hand out all the stuff. While they're in their championship games, well, actually throughout, but mainly on championship day, I have several of my staff who sit behind and watch the games and note who's doing, you know, who should be awarded these things. If we get stuck, we might ask a coach, we'll ask the umpires, hey, who do you think? And then we have the celebration right there. And then I always have a photographer. This is not me taking pictures by any stretch of the imagination. I always have a photographer at the event who helps to take pictures throughout the event, and then he takes those. So, but it's really cool to be able to have the Western states have that opportunity to come here to play.
Just a couple minutes left in our time.
Yep, I'm on, this is it right here. So enhanced tourism, I help raise the profile for the area just by bringing people here. Teams from outside have said that they plan on getting their family vacation going on, coming here. We've had teams from Colorado, Utah, California, Nevada, Alaska, British Columbia, and Oregon attend. And I expect another about 30% raise in participation this year. So, any questions?
Can we go back to the first slide? You do all that in 5 days.
Yes, sir.
Good work.
I work very hard. I put lots of hours in. Yes, thank you very much. It was a total of, this last year was a total of, I want to say 70 teams, which actually I've held bigger tournaments than that, but just in a weekend kind of thing, not at this. But when you bring that many people in and you have the opening ceremonies and you have all of this other stuff going on, it's a lot.
Like you're hosting the Olympics.
Yeah, kind of feels like it, especially when you go to the rack. If you have the opportunity, doesn't matter the outcome of this conversation, but if you have the opportunity to come to the rack on opening day and just see all the people there, it's mind blowing. I've never seen that many, and I've been holding these tournaments forever, but I've never seen that many people there at once.
Are you happy about the new parking lot?
Oh, man, and it came before the national tournament last year. I was so grateful. Yeah, it's amazing.
Somebody have any questions?
No. Thank you, Janet.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Is this the annexation seminar?
No, ma'am.
It's not.
So that, no one, oh,
Paul will be able to assist you with that.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. And I believe our 5:25 is here. If we want to take just a brief recess for a moment.
No, they might need an extra minute. I see you, Danielle.
You see.
Please come forward.
How's everybody doing this evening?
Great, it's a good night.
I know some of you. My name is Danielle Westbrook, and I'm one of the that too, organizers of the Olympia Funk Festival, and this is Richard Williams, co-organizer, and we have a third person as well, Alan Rose. So we are a team of 3. So I just found out yesterday that we could have submitted a presentation. So what I did is I just threw some pictures up for you. Does this,
Yes,
is that
that
ready
little
to go?
button, you'll be able to
Okay.
get right through.
So there's a story behind this. So I'm actually gonna just start at the last page while we talk a little bit. So 2024 was our inaugural year. 24 bands, 3 days, 2 stages, 2 major headliners from New Orleans and others from Oregon, Seattle, up and down I-5, and across the country. And over 500 people attended the event. And it was just a fantastic success. One of our headliners, the Rumble from New Orleans, played on Friday night, flew out on Saturday to make it to the Grammys because they were nominated for a Grammy Award. So exciting, right?
And they're back.
And they are back. They are back this year. This is our lineup for 2025. We had amazing feedback from the community. So for 2024, we started planning in September of 2023. So we pulled off a 3-day festival in 5 months of planning. All the fundraising, booking all the bands, getting all the volunteers, selling out. And it was just, we just heard amazing things from the community. But one thing that we wanted to focus on for the 2024 festival that we didn't get a chance to was bringing in the other jurisdictions. So it wasn't so Olympia centric, even though it's right in the heart of downtown. And so this, for 2025, we just had a meeting with Cheryl Sparkle from the Lacey Chamber today, had a whole brainstorming session of how we can include Lacey, and we're gonna need some more hotels because we're doubling our capacity for 2025 by adding a 3rd venue. So we expect with attendees, bands, staff, people flying in to have 1,000 people. And so we're gonna need some more hotels. Beautiful thing about 2025 is we are controlling our own ticketing. So we added a button that asks, where are you coming from? And over half the ticket buyers are from more than 50 miles away, are from outside of the Thurston County area so far. Tickets went on sale 2 weeks. A week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that. It was a Friday. We sold out of our early bird tickets in 2 hours. And we are currently on tier 2 of tickets. We have 3/4 of those sold. And then it goes up to our full price, which is $149. We haven't raised prices for this year. Soul Brunch, which Sunday is Soul Brunch. We're gonna bring in a fabulous caterer, Nineveh, and have live music on Sunday, but we didn't raise the price for that, didn't raise the price for any of the tickets. So we're doing this without any more cost to the attendees. And we're also proud to say that all of our ticket sales go directly to bands. So all the money that we brought in from tickets for 2024 went directly to pay for bands and some, sound. So that's important. So all the other funding that we receive is basically for the costs for putting on the event, and we are very low paid staff, by the way.
Danielle, quick question for you.
Yeah.
What venue are you in?
So we are in the Capitol Theater, the Olympia Ballroom, and we've added a 3rd venue. We haven't signed the contract yet, but it's the Olympia Center, which is right next to our host hotel, the DoubleTree, which I hear is already sold out. So we are lacking in hotels in downtown Olympia because the Red Lion was our host hotel for this year. They're closed for renovations. So we're limited to 2 hotels in downtown Olympia. So we are going to be, we've already started the process of getting a host hotel in Lacey, and we're building our website to show all the hotels that are in the area. And so that's another thing that we're doing for Lacey especially. There are some, equidistant in Tumwater that we can list. But that's also another important part of the puzzle for 2025 is getting some more host hotels because people are booking them and the DoubleTree is almost full already, and we haven't even listed the ticket, the link, the reservation link. So another cool, I'll go whoops, sorry. I messed up.
Not a problem.
I didn't know that was possible using that, so thank you. That was a learning experience.
Redone it.
Wonderful. Sorry. So I think you guys were, I was having a birthday dinner downstairs at the Mexican restaurant, the Mexican Steakhouse.
You.
That, and you guys were upstairs. It was February 2nd.
Yeah.
And you guys were upstairs and I saw lots of people going up and down those stairs.
Yeah,
And that was called the
that's the Olympia Ballroom.
Olympia Ball.
And that was our registration area as well, so when people come in
Yeah.
and get the wristband for the weekend, that's where they're checking in, so everyone made it through.
That's
that room
right.
At some point, that
Right.
weekend.
Registration, merchandise, you name it.
Saw all that.
So another focus, I'm gonna do it again because I'm trying to back up.
We're gonna back up, all right.
Yeah,
The
so
last
let's go to the front page, the first slide.
Was that Mayor Ryder getting funky?
That is Mayor Ryder getting funky, I'll get to him. So another focus this year, so we have become our own nonprofit. For 2024, we were under the umbrella of the Park Foundation, which they are still our fiscal sponsor, but now we are our own nonprofit, Ecstatic Sound Collective. And one of our goals is to have educational components, not only with this festival, but throughout the year. But I just got commitment, but after we submitted the application, I just got a commitment from local musicians to put on a master class for our kids 15 and under that are attending, and we've already sold 15 or 14 weekend passes for kids 15 and under. And we bumped up the age from 12 and under to 15 and under. And so these are some of our kids from 2024. And so this is what I did for my slideshow. I wanted to show you great pictures. So on the left are the Eberhards. They are originally from New Orleans. It's the boy on the right, he is named after George Porter Jr., which was our headlining artist. And on the right is the kids' table at Sunday brunch. And they were just having a good time. There we go. And so again, with the Everhart family, I just brought them backstage to meet George Porter Jr. So this is George Porter Jr. signing Little Porter's t-shirt. And on the right, there's a picture of the two of them. You can't see it. There they are.
Just a couple minute warning.
Yep, absolutely. And to the left is the whole family. But it was so precious, and he was just like, yes, I will meet the family. And they didn't have any special VIP tickets. That's another thing. We have no VIP tickets. We want everybody to enjoy the festival equally. We do have sponsorship levels, which probably won't be that much different. You might get some free merch and swag, but really we want all the attendees to experience the festival equally. So yeah, we're promoting, we want more kids at the festival this year because it's important to expose them to this kind of music, this genre, because it's based in jazz and 60s R&B and soul, not even 60s, it goes back so much further than that. And it's just an important music genre, we believe. On the left is a local band, Funky to Death. You'll see there is a woman on the left is the keyboard player. Another thing that we're doing for 2025 is making sure more women on stage. I was one of 7 out of 24 bands. Like, was it 7?
We did our best to source, but yes, this year's, we have all women bands, and that's actually one of our headliners, Nikki Glaspie.
Nikki Glaspie.
So yeah, representation's important, of course, people of color as well, especially a genre like this that is, founded in that, so.
Yeah, Nikki Glaspie was Beyonce's drummer, Maceo Parker's drummer. She's part of the Nth Power.
She's playing Washington Center.
Is she?
In 2 months from now or something.
Really?
Really?
I thought so. She bringing her own band.
Oh, that's cool. Well, she's amazing. And on the right is Ron Artis. He was our Sunday Soul Brunch performer, and he also brought his whole band. He's out of Hawaii.
And his whole family.
Committee, we just have another moment before our next.
And in the background, you'll see this is the Capitol Theater stage. There's graphics and sponsors and it's just kind of cool. And there's your Mayor Ryder dancing to the funk. And First Lady Becky Ryder. And so big supporters of the festival.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Regarding, since we only have a little bit of time left, masterclass opportunities. Probably predominantly downtown. Is that something that you would consider doing here in Lacey if there was a venue or a space? Like
Absolutely.
the community center or something?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're just, literally, I just talked to my band, South Sound Reading Foundation. Chad was one of the bartenders, and I had my band there, and I was like, guys, we need to do a masterclass. And so absolutely that's an option. Another thing in Lacey, there's so many recreational opportunities. And our festival is not currently slated to start on Friday until 4 o'clock. Friday at 4, Saturday at 4. There might be some stuff beforehand, but that gives them so much opportunity to explore our area. Yeah, we could absolutely have a master class here in Lacey.
So that is our time. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I know your event is great and I'm glad that it's multi-day event. That really helps us in our decision making.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's dead of winter. And I saw the thing that we're not competing with is a Lacey cultural celebration. I was like, oh, it starts at 10 a.m. Go to the Lacey cultural celebration before you come to, I mean, it's kind of maybe we can partner with that in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
I
yeah.
literally just saw that today after I talked to Cheryl. I'm
Some
like,
culture,
And
then come get
committee,
funky.
our next interviewee is online.
Okay, here we go. Thank you guys.
I appreciate it.
Time.
Thanks again for holding it in winter.
Oh, yeah, that was my choice.
It's gonna be Fun Fest and a bunch of.
So our final interview, 5:30 Olympia Harbor Days. Megan, I believe, is online and should be able to join at any, maybe. No. Perfect, being admitted now, sorry. Hello, Megan, can you hear us?
Yes, how are you guys?
Good. Do you have your presentation slide deck available to share your screen?
Yes, I can.
Excellent.
And thank you again for letting me do a Zoom. I've had COVID. I didn't want to make you all sick. And so, but I'm starting to feel better. So that's
We're glad
good.
you're well enough to join us.
Let me close it down.
And if you're unable to get it, Megan, I do have a copy of your slide deck on my end as well, if necessary.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's not popping up when I do share.
Bring it up.
Excellent. Well, I will go ahead on my end and share, and you just let me know when you're ready. Have me advance your slides.
Thank you.
Virtual presentations.
It's okay, you're writing yourselves down. Okay?
Too much
It's
fun,
been a long
too much
day.
fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you just let me know when you are ready for me to advance the slides.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. The Olympia Harbor Days is the last tugboat festival of its kind, offering vintage tugboat races, and is the featured event of the Maritime Washington National Heritage Area and a tourism-based national parks service destination. We draw people from over 50 miles away to our area by offering a unique and diverse variety of opportunities for history, education, and community engagement through our artists, vendors, entertainment, and STEM-focused kids activities. Our goals are to continue to share the history of the working tugboats, our local tribal history and culture, supporting the arts and small businesses, and increasing tourism to Olympia and surrounding areas. And so the next slide. So we have a lot of things to do down there. We have over 250 different activities going on throughout the weekend. So I did a few of them up here for you guys to look at. And you can find more on our webpage if you're interested in looking into it a little bit more. We have the last known tugboat race in the world. A ton of a huge variety of food in our food alley. And we have two of those, one at each end of the port, one at the port and one down at Percival Landing. On Friday night, we do a drone show or some sort of entertainment during our night market. And we've had the fire breathers, we've had lighted dancers, different things like that. We have Highland bagpipes and drummers that come through. We do a Lego build for the kids under the one of the gazebos in the main park at Percival there. And all the kids come in. It was great this year, seeing all the kids building little boats and things and having fun. We do chainsaw, quick carve, and sand carving contests. We have Squaxin Island Tribal History Museum there and some cultural sharings. Down at the Port Plaza, we do the Lady Washington and Virginia 5, and they have harbor cruises and dockside tours as well available, which also brings people from Tacoma because they can sign up to get on the ships down there, and then they ride down here and spend the weekend in the area, and then they bus them to whatever hotels if need be. And in the park, we had the kids zone, which we had pirates, and they had hula hoops and cornhole and all kinds of games for the kids there, and bubbles and all of it. They had a great time. We have the Puget Sound Estuarium, and we have touch tanks. And then down at and then we have the fire and LED lighted dancers. And we try and do a variety. We'll have some things one year, and then we'll skip a year and kind of to mix it up and keep it interesting for everybody. So next slide, please. Okay. So our marketing plan to enhance tourism for Lacey is we utilize a wide variety of media from printed materials, social media, TV, radio, and we also offer giveaways to draw people to the area. We have vendors that do it. We also do some, the radio stations do them. And then we've started using geofencing. And it's shown that we bring 45% of the people from over 50 miles away and 5% from out of state and Canada. We advertise area hotels in Lacey, Washington to all of our guests traveling to the festival. Many of these people, data has shown that they extend their stay to go see other things around the hotels they're staying in and things like that. Next slide, please. So this is the footprint of Harbor Days. We run from about where the Oyster House is all the way down to Port Plaza. And then we also have a beer garden down at the port for people to go sit in the shade because it's been pretty warm that time of year, set up. And then I have one more slide that's just another ad we put out. And it's just it's the Olympia Harbor Day Festival, an annual waterfront celebration, features vintage tugboats of the Puget Sound with walk-aboard shows and races. Historical ships offer harbor tours with over 250 to do different things to do and see. Olympia Harbor Days offers tribal sharing, live entertainment, food, and the largest arts and crafts shows in the county, celebrated every Labor Day weekend. And then did you guys have any other questions?
So, you guys have been doing this for a while?
Yeah, it's been running over 50 years now. And I am new, I'm brand new to Harbor Days, so I'm taking over for Carol. But I have been doing events in Olympia for over 20 years. I've organized the Olympia Wind Boat Fair. And so I'm learning this festival. And it's been a lot of fun. I'm still working with Carol a lot. She's kind of stepping to the back and then just supporting me if I have any questions about things. So I am still learning a lot of the history of Harbor Days, but I have been involved somewhat because a lot of our club members were involved with the Harbor Days as well. And so I have a little bit of history, but not all of it yet. And so I'm learning every day.
And this is your first time coming to LTAC?
Yes, yeah, because Wind Boat Fair we've run for over 45 years and we have never asked for any grants or anything. So this piece I'm learning. And so it's definitely new to me.
Okay, and then is it just this LTAC that you're coming to, or have you gone to the others as well?
Yeah, we have applied for Olympia, Tumwater, Lacey, and then the port. We have applied for them too so far.
Jefferson County has one too, right? Or is it the port and the county? No, there's different.
Independent.
Yeah, they're, okay.
Mhm.
You thought about applying at Thurston County as well?
Yeah, I was looking at that one.
And then, you guys are a multi-day event.
Yeah, we open up on Friday evening and then we're open Saturday and Sunday.
And just another minute, committee.
There's nobody following her though, right?
Yes, however, we want to make sure all of our interviewees get the same equal time commitments.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in addition to that, we also want to wrap up our meeting.
Chop it up a little bit.
Have their
Yes.
meetings coming after this.
So any additional questions
I don't
for
think I have
Megan?
anything further for Megan.
You said about 45% of your attendees are from 50 miles or more?
Yeah, that's what the geofencing said. A lot, like 45% of the people that come in are from over 50 miles away.
And do you know of that percentage, how many stay in hotels?
I do not have that data yet because I'm getting the data for, we just had our festival just a couple weeks ago. And so we haven't gotten all the data from this year back yet. So that data is what we had from the year before. And it didn't specify how many stayed or where they came from. Other than there was some, I know I'd talked to people this year that were from Oregon, and there was a couple that came from Arizona that happened to be here last year and happened upon the festival, and they actually flew back down specifically to come to Harbor Days. So that was kind of neat to see. And so.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have any closing remarks for this group?
Nope. Thank you for helping me with the slides because it is my very first one to attend, and I was hoping it would work smoother with the sharing the screen.
Not a problem. Thank you so much.
You guys have a wonderful day.
As well.
Thank you so much.
All right. I got 4 pages of notes.
So to recap and kind of wrap up our interviews, you all have received a budget and scoring tool. Those are due to be submitted back by Monday at noon. So please continue to complete those. Similar to last year's cycle, what we will do is based on this committee's recommendations, feedback, and scoring, prepare some funding options to kind of set that baseline for decision-making at our next meeting on Thursday, the 26th, and go from there for you all to make your award recommendations for council. At that meeting, we will also continue with some discussion for 2025 topics, including items this committee brought up, such as changes to the scoring rubric, potential policies around funding priorities, discussing short-term rentals, and some other items that we as staff can prepare more detailed information for that beginning of 2025 meeting.
So I only put 1 asterisk in all my notes, and it was on the Reach the Beach, and it was on their 3rd route option, that upcoming route. And she said Lacey to Westport to Lacey, but I didn't.
So they go Lacey to Westport, and then they get picked up and brought back. And then the second day it sounded like it was a loop, like of trails, or they could repeat the same route.
So they actually included in their application packet, and it's at the end of it, the GPX files, so you can actually see the routes, all 3 of them that they're proposing. And so you can take a look at them and see kind of what they're thinking and where they stop.
Yeah, that was the one I did, cause I was like, I didn't get it, when she was saying it, so.
Yes, I think that's the final page of their application packet, has some hyperlink information toward the routes specifically. Additionally, you do have a copy even of the virtual presentations from tonight in tonight's agenda packet, so you will be able to re-reference that as well.
And it might be because the other 2, Lacey was the center, and then the last one, Lacey wasn't the center, so I said, how is it possible that we're not the center
Well,
of all
it kind of
things?
bothers me too that they don't have a route set up yet.
Well, in each of the options, though, I will say Lacey is included as a starting or stopping point. So please take a look at the maps that they provided as part of the application.
And okay, so weird thing, last year, it was like, oh no, we're gonna be doing this multi, you know what I mean? And it felt kind of carrot-ish. Okay, I'm not saying they're trying to lead us on or anything like that. And then this year, it's still not done.
Yeah.
Right, so I was just like, okay, but they're saying like, oh, we're gonna have a decision made by the end of this year.
Well, and I think committee members, just recalling last year from their presentation, their application materials, they were going out for a request for proposal to do the study. And it sounds like they are finalizing and wrapping up that study, but it was something that they mentioned in their application materials would be a process through this year.
Yeah, I mean, they take longer in TRPC.
I was kind of interested
I
in
knew I
that
could
race
get that
that they could do from Portland to Seattle, Seattle, to Portland.
I'm sorry,
STP, like we're literally in the middle, like we would be the perfect, like, halfway point, so.
Have they ever showed up at STP? Have they ever come?
I'm not sure where they're kind of mid, to your point geographically, I think you're right, it makes sense, but I'm not quite sure how their logistics work out. And I do know, individuals do that in a day, so taking the 200-mile route from Seattle to Portland.
Right.
We'll be
Started.
in touch with them, just be like, hey, we're here,
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're not stopping.
We're from Portland to Seattle.
Seattle to Portland in a day.
In a day.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have
wow.
6 feet tonight. I didn't see Ruth, it's almost good.
I know it. I have a
Yes.
few friends who read that. Like, dude, so I am doing Reach the Beach next Saturday,
Okay.
right? And so that's 100 miles. I'm just like,
So sure, I'm sorry, don't mean to interrupt
Yes.
you. I know we have one more item here,
Oh,
but
sorry.
from the committee, just to wrap up this last one. Is there any additional information? I know Sadie just provided you the outline and the timeline, but I just want to make sure we have all of the materials for you.
And was everyone able to access their materials? I know during transitioning from to your city emails, if you were unable to access that, please let me know. We can make sure you all have access to your city emails or materials.
yeah, so rubric on the Excel sheet.
One
on-
Excel sheet, one is scoring, one is the budget tool for you to do your funding recommendations and rank your top 10 priority funding.
Yeah, I know what they all are, because I have them all open, right? But it takes like 3 screens, well, it gets pretty small. Your work
Yeah.
is good,
No,
okay?
thank
I'm very happy to have it. When I first started using it, I was like, how am I gonna position
I
this?
guess I have to do 2 more then.
There's time until Monday. If you have any issues, let me know.
Oh, even call you over the weekend, huh?
I mean, you couldn't have made it any
Just
easier.
stop by my place.
There's always room for improvement.
Thank you, Sadie.
We're looking forward to hearing recommendations at the next meeting.
Okay, so the next item on our agenda is the Parks Improvement Funding Work Group update.
Yes.
Our committee member, Ruth Whitehall.
Yeah, the council appointed 9 voting members to this group, this work group, and 6 non-voting members. So, and we've had 2 meetings so far. The first one was mostly housekeeping, doing the things that we have done for any other committee in Lacey. And then this last week, we got more into the comprehensive plan. And then, which includes input from our community outreach that we have done. And then we also looked at the budget for maintaining our parks, which is that was quite interesting. And so at the next meeting, we're going to be looking at the budget, overall budget. We meet every 2 weeks and with the group finishing up their work on December 2nd. Recommendation to the city council. And we're gonna tour our park system too, so that's gonna be good.
It's a lot of parks, isn't it? 28, 29?
Well,
Something
let's
like
see, there's a lot of them are undeveloped
I
area
think it's
too.
26.
I do have that.
Undeveloped areas.
Yeah, right.
So I think committee members, just add on to what Ruth was saying here. So Ruth is serving as the LTAC committee representative to this ad hoc board as they go through this process to create recommendations for the Lacey City Council and how to move forward with parks funding for the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thanks for it. As you guys can as you guys consider funding models and options, I guess you haven't really made it that far yet.
No, we're just in the process of we're just, like I say, they presented the comprehensive plan. And then we looked at the budget that, for maintaining our parks, which is kind of interesting. That budget falls under the engineering or
Public Works.
Public Works
Street
Department.
maintenance.
So it's separate from Parks Department.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Jamie made a presentation to us. Yeah, so.
So Sadie mentioned, at the end of going through the budget tool and coming to a potential recommendation for the city council, we'll be going over items to discuss at a future meeting in 2025, early 2025. And so we'll have another update too on the parks improvement funding work group at that time.
Yeah.
From Ruth.
All right. So just so I'm understanding what the 26th is going to be about, we're going to turn in our scoring. You guys are gonna kind of aggregate that information a little bit. Present us with a couple funding options. Keyword being options.
Yes, I believe, but last year we provided 3 options based off of the committee's recommendations, looking at trends, priorities, and things like that. So we will have 3 options again this year to provide a baseline for discussion and try to have those out for your review as soon as possible ahead of time so you can come into the meeting prepared. Troy, our finance director, will also be here to help kind of do that plug and play as you finalize your decisions. And then we'll take those recommendations to the city council for approval during the budget cycle.
Okay.
And then after that, we will transition to discussion of any additional 2025 considerations that you would like staff to prepare between now and then.
All right.
This year, we have 22 parks, 4 trails, 9 underdeveloped parks, and 1,400 acres. Does that sound about right? 37% is developed and 53% is undeveloped.
And are you guys considering like a strategy for a development strategy? Is that where you're coming
I
from?
think so. I think that's where we're going.
Okay.
And then funding, that's
Well, of
that's the big key. Yeah.
Okay. Is the RAC, the RFQ, is that part of what they're doing too?
So they're not working on a RFQ for the RAC, but what they will be taking, so with the Parks Comprehensive Plan that was adopted last year, they're taking a look at the capital improvement program that was included in there and taking a look at all of the projects that are part of that. And so there certainly are projects identified, like the RAC expansion, for example, in that capital improvement plan. And so then they're gonna be going through it and saying, okay, based off of the plans and funding sources that may be available in the community or are currently available, what is kind of a recommendation for the council on how to fund future improvements? But I wanna say, in addition to future improvements, taking a look at what's existing in parks, so replacement, right? Because
Right.
we do know that assets only have a certain amount of time and then they do need to be replaced. And then also, how do we have the maintenance and operation dollars to continue to fund all of the ongoing activities and, again, asset management of everything in our parks moving forward. So they'll be taking a very thorough look at all of those elements and hopefully coming up with a plan recommendation in
Right.
early December.
And a lot of it too is community outreach is a big part of that too, is what the community was telling us.
Yeah, that was my next
Yeah.
question.
Mhm.
What level of community involvement are you guys having with this?
Oh, we've already done the community outreach.
Okay.
That's been done. I participated in one in the summer and I went around and talked to people in our parks. And that was quite interesting when they were attending a concert or just went over and talked to people that were sitting in our parks.
All right.
And I think just to add on a little bit more background and context for everyone, so with the park's comprehensive plan, there was an extensive amount of outreach done. And so Ruth mentioned the park's outreach team, which she was a part of, to get information and bring it back to the group to process it as part of that comprehensive plan. This was in addition to doing, surveys and having discussions with
Questionnaires,
community
yeah.
members. And so all of that information was included and thought about as we created the comprehensive plan for the park, and then also designed that capital improvement for our park system as well. So it's building off of all of the community engagement done as part of that. And I'm sure there's going to be more community engagement opportunities in the future when we're talking about kind of any recommendations or, movement forward. But for this process, it's not necessarily going out in the community. It's taking the information that is existing, reviewing what could be opportunities and options for the city, and then making a recommendation to the council.
I thought we had identified somewhere near upwards of 40 to 60 million dollars worth of potential capital.
Plus 60+ million.
Was it 60 plus?
Mhm.
Well, 60 is not easy to come by,
You know
as
what?
Troy would say.
You know where to find out? No.
Okay, well, it appears as though we have reached the end of our agenda. Before we do adjourn, I was wondering, what is our time slot for the next meeting on the 26th? Are we the same?
The same at 3
Same
p.m. with a
36.
tentative end time at 6 p.m. if all of our business is completed.
Okay, all right. All right, well, does anybody have anything further before we adjourn this meeting? All right, then I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you all.